I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. Rolling down, I'll give up everything. Daunting all, if I could see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go, don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
Reality. Rolling down, I'll give up everything. Daunting all, if I can see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go, don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are live for the biggest party on your Sunday night. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. It's time to get lottie-dottie and get ready to party, because the next hour or two, depending on how long this goes, we're going to cover everything in the world of professional wrestling. We're going to break down all the news and all the reports. We're going to talk about Low.Comic-Con. We're going to talk about SPW. We're going to talk about big events. We're going to talk about everything and anything. And it's time. It's time. It's celebration time. As we're going to celebrate the 1,000th subscriber, this is your Value Wrestling Weekly Roundup Celebration Special, the 1,000 subscriber special. Lots going on, lots of fun tonight. We will be doing a giveaway, and I put her way up too high, but we got the Bailey action figure to give away for anybody who comments in the chat. So drop your statements in the chat below if you want to win a Bailey Elite action figure. Mr. Z is going to bring you a live on-air shoey, and Mr. Clark has put together a beautiful Dance Revolution dance-off dancing contest to give you all the fun and excitement. He's something about, I heard him say earlier, he, brought his milkshake, and he's hoping to bring all the boys to the yard, or girls, one or the other, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the...
I look like a peacock. I don't bring boys to anything. Hell, the boys don't even work for AEW anymore. Or ROH.
Anyways, Dalton Castle 2.0. We're going to get the show on the road. We're going to get the party started. Thank you for joining in. say something in the conversation if you want to be entered into the contest for the Bailey action figure. So far, it looks like 2 people qualified. So, Mr. Z, I'm sorry you don't qualify.
Oh, yeah, let's hope for more.
You can chat all you
I
want,
know,
but
I know.
you don't actually qualify.
Oh,
What's
there we
up,
go.
Samoan Watchman?
What is up, my brother?
Hello, welcome to the 1,000 subscribers show. We're glad to see you. If you're in the chat, get talking. Let's talk about it all. We're gonna get down into dirty details about everything going on, especially Tony Khan running his mouth about everything and anything, whether it be the future of AEW, whether it be him and he sees AEW working with WWE in the next 100 years. We're talking about getting back in the ring. Tony Khan just always seems to be out there talking about this, talking about that. It's too much. You know, sometimes I think somebody needs to sit Tony Khan down and tell him to, more. We don't need no more.
How about we do this? How about we play Tony Load a Load icon during the SPW wrestling show and tweet as much as he does? And tag and everything so he can see what it's like.
I don't have enough time in my day for that much tweeting. My thumbs would be tired. I'd be like this. We'd be going to the ER with our thumbs stuck like this after 6 hours of sitting there. Yeah, I mean, and we've got a whole big show afterwards to do. It's gonna be a long day. We don't have that much. I guess you can tweet her out while we're recording the big show at the end of that show. You can sit there and tweet her. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be this, and this is gonna be. Oh gosh. Hey, are you guys excited?
Turn into it.
Are you guys excited for AEW's Grand Slam? Are you excited to see Jeff Jarrett take on a Hangman Page in a lumberjack match at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam this coming Wednesday? Is that going to put butts in the seat?
What?
Jeff Jarrett's going to take on Hangman Adam Page in a lumberjack strap match, I believe. Yes.
You know what's why I'm excited for Wednesday? The Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix. That's what's got me interested on Wednesday. AEW, I mean, I'll be watching it. I don't know if excited is the word.
Well, AEW, hey, Mr. Khan, we have a chair here, man. You can use it and bash someone over the head, just like you did your pay-per-view, and possibly injure somebody.
Has anybody watched? Uh-oh, Mr. Z, you're scrambling. AT&T is saying no. Welcome to the chat. Join in the conversation. Tell us what you're thinking to help us with the 1,000th subscriber celebration show. Has anybody watched the Busted Open Radio podcast with Tony Khan on there? I've heard a lot of negative reviews that Bully Ray would ask Tony Khan a question, and Tony Khan would basically never really answer the question. He would dance around it. At one point, Tony was asked about booking of Will Ospreay versus Ricochet, and he comes to the defense about booking it so early. He's going to, Grand Slam Ricochet versus Will Ospreay on the 5-year anniversary show. Of course, the Grand Slam show, I think they're doing, I forget what they're doing on the Grand Slam show. So on the 5-year anniversary show on October 2nd, Will Ospreay versus Ricochet for the international title. Tony Khan said this, and I quote, "That's why I think it makes perfect sense with these big stages. We have the greatest roster. There are an unlimited supply of huge matches, these matches that have been building since people arrived at AEW. So since Ricochet arrived a month ago to AEW, this match has been building. It's a big match. Now, granted, Will Ospreay and Ricochet have faced off before. What they can do in the ring is great. But again, Tony Khan there that didn't even answer the question that was asked him. The question was asked him, do you think you're rushing this? No, we have the greatest roster. We have many huge matches. We're never going to run out of huge matches. Except you put Ricochet in there with Mortos and wonder why that doesn't get people to come watch your show. Tony Khan, Will Ospreay, Ricochet on October 2nd, barely a month after Ricochet joined AEW, showing up at AEW All In that gauntlet match at I think the 10 spot. And Ricochet's been pretty much wrestling every week. They've kind of started this little weird feud between the two. It's kind of okay, but it isn't anything. Ricochet going all over X, expressing like, oh, now I get to do what I can do. I'm going to show everybody what I can. And I'm still waiting for him to show me anything that he wasn't doing in WWE. I don't see a big difference between the Ricochet in AEW and the Ricochet we've been seeing in WWE. The only thing I see now is his theme music sucks. His entrance is bland. And I'm like, okay, why am I impressed? And why are we rushing this? Why are we not allowing this match to build? And don't tell me we're going to do another MJF Will Ospreay. We're going to have 3 straight matches in a row. It's like, after the first time, it's not going to be as exciting. What are your thoughts on this coming into October 2nd with the 5-year anniversary show? Ricochet, Will Ospreay. Is Tony Khan rushing it?
Let me jump off here and say this.
Yes, Kayla, we know AEW may not be relevant to everybody, but there is a world out there that finds AEW relevant. I mean, it might be 2,000 people. It might be the 2,000 sickos of the professional wrestling world. But there's people. There's people buying tickets to the AEW show in Stockton, California, AEW Collision and Battle for the Belts. It's coming up in the middle of October. And Tony Khan, if you want to change mine and Mr. Z's impression of AEW, why don't you get us up with some media passes so we can come and check it out from the other side? Go ahead, Mr. Z. You were going to say something.
That offer. So let me jump off of it first real quick. I mean, it sounds like Ricochet. It sounds a lot like Flop talking about whose careers thrived since leaving WWE. I seen that tweet earlier. Ricochet attacking fans because the fans don't believe in Ricochet. It's not so much we don't believe in Ricochet, it's we don't believe in Tony Khan. Yeah, they are rushing this match. Match should be billed for a pay-per-view. It should be buys that Stan should be getting, and what's going to happen after this? They're going to disappear. What happens to one after a big match at AEW?
Well, I kind of get your point, but I also kind of look at some of the blame does go on Ricochet now because Ricochet talks so much crap on social media, and what he can do in the ring is under his control, and he's not really doing any of it. I don't know how much the wrestlers have control about what goes on with them in other aspects. I don't know how much Tony Khan dictates. We know that, Redacted was by Redacted's way. Everything had to be Redacted's way, and if you went out of Redacted's way, you got in trouble. The way I understand it with Tony Khan pretty much lets these guys go out there and do it. And so is it really it's Tony Khan doing the booking that's rushing this match, so I blame him on that. But is it Ricochet's fault that he's not getting over because he's not necessarily doing really, I mean, granted, I guess Tony Khan's not giving him the right space to shoot a promo. The little promos and vignettes we've seen by him, I don't know how much it's scripted. I don't know how much he has direction. If it's just Ricochet doing it on his own, then I got to kind of point the finger at Ricochet going, you're not doing much. Like, you're not coming off as anything special. Like, you came on social media and were like hard begging fans, like, oh, I'm going to be free to do what I wasn't able to do in WWE, and I'm going to show you. And I'm still like, show me? Tell me I'm from Missouri, the show me state. Mr. Clark, your thoughts?
From a storytelling point of view, it's very much what have you done for me lately? And whether it's because of Tony, whether because it's Ricochet. You haven't done shit for us. Sorry, bud, but it is what it is. Big Time has said it over and over. It's like watching Ricochet from WWE, thinking he's coming into a different territory, but coming as the same character and not expanding upon it, not doing anything different, not even if he was into the same stuff. He's not really building a real story. It's just kind of meh.
Yeah. No, it's just very...
It's very mid.
Yeah. It's disappointing and sad because we're not against Ricochet going to AEW, but Ricochet came out with all this fare and all this like hype that he was going to go to AEW and do something different. And I feel like he's been downgraded. Like, his entrance music's just bland. There's nothing about his entrance or his scream. I mean, I'm sorry. You want to talk about WWE when it came out to that bullet and the ricocheting sound and the spotlight and all the lights and the smoke. You're like, ooh. Now he comes out and you're like, oh, okay, Ricochet, cool.
Well, that's not entirely true. When you have the
Yay!
string and the bullet and all that stuff, a lot of people thought it was cheesy as heck. So it wasn't like thinking that was the greatest thing, but it made sense. There was a reason behind it. It wasn't just, well, this is silly shit. Now, coming at his AEW music, you're right. There's no pop to it. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's very generic, and that's the real problem.
He
There's nothing
feels
too hyped behind it to want to push him
he
forward.
feels very generic. We know that AEW will spend money to make people get over. I mean, they make money fall for Okada. The Young Bucks get a big entrance. Ospreay always with his big entrance. But Ricochet comes out, and especially since Ricochet was making his debut. Look what they did for Adam Copeland. At least they gave Adam Copeland an arrival vignette. It didn't gel in real well because it's like he showed up and it was hyped then, but then it just went. They missed a little bit there, but they didn't even do a welcoming for Ricochet. It was just like, here's his music, here's Ricochet, and you're kind of like, oh, I wanted more. I mean, this is Ricochet. This was
Here
a
he
big
is,
signing.
folks.
Yeah.
Bask in his glory. Wait a minute.
Do we know where he is?
What happened to him? Where's he at?
Do we know where the Bear Claw is? Do we know what happened to Keith Lee?
Not a bloody
Are we sure Shore didn't murk him first?
Well, there was a cinder block involved. I don't know. Jeez.
I mean, and what's going to happen when Keith Lee is Keith Lee going to return and start feuding with Swerve all of a sudden? Are we going to pick up that feud when he comes back?
Oh, good lord!
That is, man, good God. I got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining the chat, joining this conversation. This is the 1,000 subscribers celebration. It's a party. Make sure you're saying hello. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about. And Tony Khan, if you're watching, we want to come to AEW. We want to celebrate AEW. If you want to give us some press passes, let us come.
Tony Khan, I will dedicate this Chewy to you if you are here, sir. Just let us know you're here.
we can come to Stockton. We can check out the show. You can, give us a reason to talk about something good. I mean, we want AEW to succeed. You may come here and think we hate on AEW. But the reason we're harsh on AEW because it's what it presents. And we're just like, this isn't going to last forever at the level that it needs to. Okay? It's going to be a mediocre show. And if he's going to book for the sickos, that's what they're all excited for is the sickos. Cool. I mean, we're in the middle of another, hostile takeover AEW with Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Maria Shafir, and Pac. I don't know if they're still BCC or they're not. They took out Private Party with a hammer. There's a little bit there, but we were really not getting any more of the meaty juiciness on it. Bryan Danielson's been challenged by Nigel McGuinness, but we really don't have a for sure that he's cleared or whatever. And it's just like, I would think Bryan Danielson would be ready to, even if he's injured, that he would be immediately on TV with some comeback or some statement by now. To be like, Moxley, what did you do? We're going to have to something. I don't know. And where is Tony Khan in this? Rico is a flop. Face off, son. What?
Oh, yeah. Ricochet.
Oh, okay. Rico is a flop.
Yeah. We already knew that.
Yeah. But I'm like, AEW's got weird storylines. I mean, what about Adam Cole with the Devil with Undisputed Kingdom, and now they're the biggest joke. I mean, they're treated like a joke. Completely.
Where's Wardlow?
Who?
Who? Where what? Where?
I mean,
Did he call Uncle Paul? I mean, what's going on?
I've never seen. I mean, I feel so bad for Mike Taven and Mike Bennett and Matt Taven because I mean they were part of this thing, and now they're being used as sideshow carny jokers. I mean, they're that tag. I mean, it's sad where that tag team has fallen to.
I mean,
I give. Go ahead. Finish your thought, and I got mine. Go ahead. Finish your thought, and I got mine.
Had its comedic. It has been used comedically even in the original Ring of Honor, but they were so much better and so much more serious, despite the comedy in the original Ring of Honor. Where now they're just a joke.
Yeah.
In Tony Khan's ROH/AEW.
No, I mean they're great at what they do, and they can have some serious. You can have comedy, but it's just like they're overly just like horribly just like can you get? And they don't win anything. It's like they just been losing here and there. It's just like they went from being in this super big storyline to being what they are now. I mean, how the Outrunners are getting more over in AEW than most of the AEW tag teams.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna bring that up. I mean, look at FTR. They were shaking hands and kissing babies with the Outrunners. I mean,
Yeah.
You think FTR ever
just-
thinks about maybe it's time to go back to Uncle Paul? Do you think they're like maybe let's not be FTR, but we love the revival. We love the revival.
I was about to say, it's time to have a
Yeah.
revival of the revival.
I know.
it's I don't even know anymore. Like I was gonna say the only serious person out of this new little group with Moxley and everybody else. I mean, I'd take Marina Shafir more serious than the rest of the boys because she's the only one that looks like she's serious.
Why does AEW always feel like Tony Khan walked in the building and found a new toy? Because like all of a sudden now we're reusing Evil Uno, like he hasn't been around, and now he's getting all this TV time, and they're like pushing Evil Uno. It's just like, what did Tony Khan walk by, and you just happen to walk by, and Tony Khan goes, Uno, let's put you on the card tonight.
Something like that. I mean, the Dark Order's been being used in Ring of Honor, so he's like, he's
But
been
it's-
used, just not on AEW TV.
But the Ring of
But
Honor,
Evil Uno is a good commentator though, because I've seen some of the stuff he does at the organization he works for, and
Like
he's
Mr.
pretty good as
Wrestling?
a good Yes,
But-
it's comedic, but he's good. I'd trade
Yeah.
him out for Excalibur any day.
I don't know if I go that far.
but again,
Excalibur
I-
needs to go.
I think I appreciate Excalibur more than you guys do.
but then again, I mean, does Ring of Honor have anything to do with AEW other than the fact that they're owned by the same person?
No,
It's basically kind of, it's unofficially development, basically.
The only thing that matters about Ring of Honor is that the Ring of Honor TV.
Between both brands.
The only thing about Ring of Honor that seems relevant is their titles get to be on AEW TV. So I mean, if you're a champion, unless you're the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, you might get to be on TV. I mean, we see the World Champion and the Tag Team Champion, but I don't recall ever seeing the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on AEW TV.
Not in a real long time.
So I mean,
Let's put it this way: since Athena's been champion, no, the ROH Women's Championship has not been on AEW TV.
should I know who Athena is? Like, I think I've heard this name, but it's been so long since I've seen it.
we should know. We should know. We
Well,
should
I-
know Thunder Rosa is.
There you go.
Well, Athena should be on AEW TV wrestling. Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May and Britt Baker
Into the company.
and any woman on the main roster outside of Mercedes Moné.
Quite fair.
Anyways, hey,
Nothing.
Mr. Z, your buddy, Big Top Dollar, is making news. The former WWE star wasted no time making an impact after he made his debut at GCW, now known as AJ Francis, who'd also become a star in TNA wrestling. Twitter remains an integral part of social media, but a lot has changed since Elon Musk purchased it back in 2022. And this especially includes the increase in adult contact, especially from bots. Top Dollar took to Twitter and stated that he believes Twitter has become a porn site and questioned why people have not just accepted that fact. He went on to say, so we all just decided to be cool with Twitter just being a porn site. Top Dollar, of course, thriving in TNA right now, but he's calling Twitter a porn site. Which, I mean,
And
you have
Mr. Clark,
If you
do you think he's right?
Research, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, it was more of a porn site than it is now. Yes, it's calmed down compared to the amount of content that since Elon Musk has bought it. So, like, AJ Francis, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. As someone who was on Twitter beforehand, as someone who's seen what you're talking about, Do your research. Not to say it's not there, but it's not as prevalent as it was before Elon Musk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see 7 people here with us live, joining the chat, joining the conversation. But the biggest thing is, if you're here right now, let's get that like button. I've got 3 likes, but 7 people in here. Let's hit that like button. Let's get those likes up, up, up. That is going to be a huge thing to help out.
I would say he should be more working. He should be more focused on learning how to dive over a top rope than worrying about what's on Twitter.
Right.
Don't tell him that, because he'll block you on Twitter, and then he'll get his panties in a bunch and send all his super troopers after you.
He's already blocked me.
Well,
He blocked me because of you, sir.
No. I got blocked for making a bad joke at him about it. Oh, you can't jump over the top rope. You jumped in and went on the attack. Don't try and like swerve yourself like I threw you up under the bus. You went in there and put your 2 cents in there. You went in and tasty toes your way into. You tasty toed your way into all of that. Don't act like you didn't add salt to the wound. You didn't put a little tapatio on top of the taco to add a little spice.
I got salt right here, but it's not for the wound, baby.
So don't act like you didn't add anything to that comment. Okay, I went jokingly about how he couldn't dive over a top rope because he was attacking our boy Joe Hendry, and you went in there and like, oh, you're gonna block my boy. Watch this. And you threw all types of smoke and seasoning spice and stirred that up. You said, I want the smoke.
Yes, I did.
AJ Francis, I want the smoke. And you made the
He
smoke.
blocked me.
Yes. So yeah,
He
don't.
want the smolder.
The only person who was slightly an innocent bystander, I think, was Mr. Clark in that one. Okay. So get your facts right. Talking about innocent bystanders, let's talk about Penta El Zero Mio and his brother Rey Phoenix. Recently, speculation swirled that the duo has signed with WWE, and they had signed multi-year deals with the company. However, clarity has emerged, and it is now clear that they still remain under AEW contracts. Circulation last month about Penta's open discussions with WWE, indicating that he and Phoenix would only make the jump as a package deal. WWE was reportedly eager to bring them in, especially with the strong interest in Phoenix. Corey Hayes of PWN even reported that WWE had signed the Lucha Brothers, positioning them for a direct debut on the main roster. However, Mike Johnson, a PW insider, weighed on the situation, stating, and I quote, as of this writing, they are still under AEW deals, so they couldn't have signed anywhere else. While there's a lot of anticipation that they're going to make the move to WWE once their AEW contracts are over, they are legally unable to sign at this point. In summary, while the Lucha Brothers may be linked to WWE in the future, they are still much part of AEW, even though they probably are not used and probably will not be used, because from what I've read and understand, Tony Khan's not happy with the Lucha Brothers and rather them sit on the shelves than use them in any type of capacity. So we'll have to wait and see when El Pentecito Romero, Rey Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers arrive in WWE, which I'm pretty sure is probably going to happen. There's a lot of people pushing that direction. Sean Ross Sapp even reported that they're not there. They're still with AEW, but he believes they will probably make their way to WWE when those contracts are finally up, along with several other names. We don't see Ricky Starks on AEW TV. I'm sure he's going to be WWE bound. Wardlow, we haven't seen him. I'm sure when his contract up. We're still waiting for the word on Miro, as he has asked for his AEW release, I believe, for a second time. What was his future doing? Where will he wind up? Will he wind back up in WWE? Will we get the return of Rusev? And I don't know if I want Rusev to return to WWE. Maybe I just want Miro in WWE. I don't know if I want the Bulgarian Brute in that way. I mean, I kind of like Miro. I would hope that in this day and age, I like the Redeemer. I think Hunter Paul Levesque can do a whole lot more with that storyline and get it over. I don't know if I want to revamp some Rusev. I think Rusev, if Miro goes back to WWE, I think he needs to reset and then get away from the Rusev gimmick altogether. And being Miro, the Redeemer, could really add a lot of flavor to that. And of course, we can't forget about the big battle for Daniel Garcia. We thought the bidding war of 2024 would be all over MJF, but maybe the bidding war of 2024 is going to be overall over the Dancing King, Daniel Garcia. Of course, he's no longer dancing, thank goodness. But Daniel Garcia seems to be the hot topic. I think Daniel Garcia will succeed in NXT. I'd love to see Daniel Garcia, Ricky Starks, and All Ego, Lexus King, and all these guys in NXT, and just sit there and laugh and go, "Hey, it's old AEW." But hey, I think these guys would all show up. I can't wait to see the Motor City Machine Guns. If the Lucha Brothers sign, they might spend some time in NXT. That could be really cool. It could be really interesting. Your guys' thoughts on the Lucha Brothers and Daniel Garcia, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, the whole cast and crew, and Miro.
Who wants to go first? All right. So let's start with the Lucha Brothers. It does not matter how much Tony Khan wants to cool the Lucha Brothers off. The moment, whether it's NXT, whether it's main roster, the moment they step onto a WWE piece of property, they're going to get over huge. So, Tony Khan, you lose either way. This whole fear of, we don't want them making money off of the investment. Okay, that's fine. He has the right to do what they feel is right for their company and their talent. But WWE will know how to put the pulse back in and how to get it to raise for the flames, the spotlight, for the razzle dazzle, if you will. So whenever we get to that point, I have no worries about the Lucha Brothers. Ricky Starks, always going to be interesting, as I've been singing his praises since NWA Power, let alone his potential that he had in AEW, which has been curbed, obviously. Again, whether it's NXT or main roster, Ricky Starks, he'll make it up there. He'll get his popularity back and make it go even further. Who else were we talking about? Wardlow. He's kind of the one. He's the only one I'm a little cautionary with. I want to see what they can do with him in NXT. I just don't know if he's as good as I thought his potential was in AEW. There's the thing, it's potential. He has to go out there and still do it, but he also has to be given the platform, which is what NXT could be for him.
Yes. Mr. Z.
Well, okay, Lucha Bros. I mean, other than the fact that them in NXT with the young ones that are there doing it big as it is, that could put a big jump in a tag team division on any roster, whether it be main or NXT. Just name value alone, that's money. Ricky Starks, we know what he's capable of. I would love to see him polished up and let loose on his own. I feel like he was, I want to say buried and not, I don't know if they meant to bury him on purpose, but they buried him. I mean, hell, you give him polished up and get him up there with Lexus King and All Ego Ethan Page, and I feel like that's there's your money match right there. Wardlow. If there's one thing WWE is known for, it's how to present a big man. They've been doing it for a long time. I feel like he can bring, if the same thing with him, he gets the training he needs to, the right direction, the right platform. It'd be unbelievable.
Ladies,
yeah, go ahead. I just can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you're in here. Thank you for all the love we see. Join in the conversation in the chat below. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about. And we're about 30 minutes in. Stick around. The big celebration is going to take place. We got a lot of exciting stuff to come forward for you. We're pushing through our weekly review here. This is the 1,000 subscribers special. And we thank you all for being here and celebrating with us. So let's talk about a former NWA, MLW, ECW World Heavyweight Champion and a current tag team coach, a producer within NXT, and one of the top coaches at the Performance Center, as it has been officially announced. They have re-signed to continue the key role in NXT, as we have found out that Steve Carino will be sticking around in NXT for a little while. Yes, the king of old school, Steve Carino. teaching the youngsters of the future down in NXT, working mostly with the tag team within NXT, but a big key role has been officially announced that he has re-signed to continue his key role within NXT. Steve Corino, a big part of ECW, a big part of NWA and the independent scene. Did he ever get his fair dues maybe on the big stages? Maybe not, but there's a lot of talent in Steve Corino, and his son is quite talented, and we can't wait to see him arrive in what'll probably be a future WWE run. But Steve Corino is a great talent. Steve Corino, what?
If I recall right, Kobe Carino, Steve's son, I think had a developmental contract and didn't last too long, which is why he's back with the NWA. Last I read.
I'm sure he'll wind up back there when he gets himself figured out.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's talented, so I mean,
But Steve Corino's sticking around with NXT. Big name, good name there to have working with these younger guys.
absolutely.
And here's the thing with that. The beautiful part about that is that the NXT young wrestlers that come in and are in the developmental system, they listen. They take advice from the veterans, the guys that have been there. Hey, I need help. You want to help me out? And they accept it. You know, that's a beautiful thing. We'll
And
go
that's
ahead and keep letting it.
developmental compared to main roster other company.
Right. I'm all for it. Keep him. He's doing a great job.
Let's talk about an ex-WWE star who's interested in making a return for at least the Royal Rumble. Former WWE star, one of the original Tough Enough contestants, former member of the TNA Impact roster, and former member of New Japan Pro Wrestling, was on the Gigantic Pop podcast and was asked if they would be open to returning in a spot at the Royal Rumble under Triple H's leadership. And one Matt Morgan said, "Is it a one-off? Okay, if it's a one-off, probably, yeah. I have no desire to wrestle. Hell no." Matt Morgan, interested in making an appearance in a Royal Rumble, not really interested in a long wrestling career or wrestling, but Matt Morgan maybe showing up one more time for Royal Rumble one-off. What would you guys think about seeing the blueprint, Matt Morgan,
I was gonna say that.
making it one-off in a Royal
The
Rumble
original blueprint?
appearance? I don't know if it's the original blueprint. We'd have to look to wrestling history, but sure. Your thoughts on Matt Morgan?
It's hard for me to get excited only because I know he had his time at WWE. They tried to push him to heat him up to be a main eventer in TNA, and it just never really worked out. I mean, like, it would be all right, but you know, ultimately, it's like I don't care.
Yeah, I'm all about a surprise entry. So yeah, go ahead. Let it.
I think it would be a fun pop, for what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they bring back the 50-man Royal Rumble again. I love them to do that one more time. Braun Strowman has been the longest reigning champion in WWE currently right now as the greatest Royal Rumble champion. I think it's about time he defend that belt. I'd love to see another 50-man Royal Rumble special. I love the 30-man, but it's always nice to get that 50-man because you get to see a lot more spots, a lot more people, brings in a lot of people, a lot of talent that you may not know who might get a spot.
That is true. And I mean, as long as we don't get another Titus O'Neil spot, we're good.
Oh, geez.
Although still will forever is history.
Talk about one ex-WWE star. Let's talk about another ex-WWE star who's open to returning after 12 years to have a showdown with Mommy Rhea Ripley, one mother to another. Yes, we're talking about Gabby Tuft, who requested a release from WWE in 2012 and made an impressive return to the wrestling ring after nearly a decade away from competition. She's now open to returning to WWE in order to square off with Rhea Ripley. Tuft recently somebody screwed up in that one. In June, after a decade absence competing in a show for the independent promotion West Coast Pros, where she defeated J-Rod. Although she hasn't had another match since then, she has stayed active on social media, interacting with fans and teasing the future plans. Tuft took to Twitter and said, and I quote, "Who would you want to see as Mother's next opponent? people calling for re-up Bloody Riffley. Would you be interested in seeing Gabby Tuft in WWE taking on Mummy? His mother versus Mummy, something you'd be interested in?
First thing we have to do is remind folks, because that name Gabby Tuft is not going to be known to newer fans.
No.
And then the original name may not be remembered because it's been so long.
Yes. Go ahead.
I don't want to give the history lesson. I'll put it this way: it would not interest me personally. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, wait, that's it. Background. Anyways, Mr. Z.
I kind of piggyback on that. Yeah, I'll piggyback on that one too. I mean, it sounds like a playful idea. It does.
Gabby who?
I mean, but it sounds like a playful idea, and all due respect, it's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say at Watchmen. Do you remember the name? I believe it's Rhett Titus.
Not the name.
No. Who is it then? I forget now.
Red Titus is a former ROH wrestler.
Okay, who was formerly Gabby Tuft then?
Look up the name to remember exactly.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, let me go ahead and jump on that. Like I said, it's not something that I'd be interested in seeing, not anytime soon. But yeah, it's all good. Everyone's got a dream match. No, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's right. Tyler Rex.
There you go.
Gabby Tuft, formerly known under her WWE ring of Tyler Rex. Yes. You have Nyla Rose, you have Gabby Tuft. He would say more.
I'd rather say Nyla Rose face mommy, okay, than Gabby Tuft.
Speaking, as we did earlier, that I believe, let's talk about I believe Joe Henry, as rumors are talking about his contractual status with TNA. Several TNA stars have been making an impact in the business lately. Oh, that guy. Exactly. A lot of TNA stars have been making an impact in the business lately, with Joe Henry being a notable standout. His appearance on NXT television significantly boosted his reputation, and now Henry's contractual status with TNA has been revealed. TNA star Joe Henry made headlines in the past few months with his role in the crossover between NXT and TNA. He most recently competed in an NXT title match against All Ego Ethan Page at No Mercy, where he unfortunately did not come out victorious. Fightful Select reports that Joe Henry still has a significant amount of time left on his TNA contract, and it's not nearing its expiration time anytime soon, so there's no chance of him joining WWE as a full-time WWE star. But there may be time for him to show up in NXT unless we take to his Twitter, where it seems that he's even hinting that his time with NXT has come to an end for now. But of course, we always know Shawn Michaels believes, and that door is always open. But for now, Joe Henry, still part of the TNA roster. Joe Henry going to be in the California area October 19th. I believe he's going to be in Roseville, California. And I believe on the same day he's going to make the trek down to the Central Valley and be at a wrestling show in Atwater.
Fighting Barrett Pro in Atwater.
Your thoughts on Joe Henry's contract, gentlemen?
Joe Henry.
It's not a surprise. I think because I kind of somewhat keep track of this a little bit, especially with Joe Henry. He's obviously a global star in the making. They gave him WWE, or shall we say NXT, has given him a bit of a push further beyond what TNA by themselves could do. Now he gets to bring that back to TNA and try to help the company overall. And I'm sure when his contract is out with TNA, I'm sure WWE will be calling. They're already in his year as it is, I'm sure.
Yes, me and Mr. C are debating whether we're going to go to Roseville on the 19th to meet Joe Henry, even though the next night on October 20th in Elk Grove, California will be SPW Supreme Pro Wrestling's Rules, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. And you need to be there in Elk Grove. So, I mean, hell, make it a weekend. Come up, stay over, check out Roseville on the 19th. That's Saturday. Meet Joe Henry in Roseville, or you can go over, and then you can go over to Elk Grove the next day. That's Sunday, and see some of the best independent wrestling at Supreme Pro Wrestling on October 20th. where they're going to have the costume battle royal. It's going to be the biggest Halloween party that you're going to find in Northern California. It's going to be the most fun. It's going to be some great wrestling action. Supreme Pro Wrestling, ghouls, frights, and wrestling tights. October 20th in Elk Grove, California, at the Indoor World Soccer Arena, or what I just love to call the SPW Arena, because it is going to be the house that SPW built. The Value Wrestling will be there. We're going to get more details of that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mr. Clark's favorite anti-hero. Ryback is running his mouth.
Oh Lord. You're not my favorite anything. What's wrong with you, boy? Jeez.
Everybody's favorite wrestler that doesn't wrestle anywhere. And it makes the whole world happy when we don't have to worry about Ryback wrestling. Oh, he said he was going to retire if CM Punk returned to WWE, and he didn't even follow through that, so I call him a liar. Does that hurt your feelings, Ryback?
I was going to say, he's a liar.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a hoot, Ryback. You know what? I'll call a boy. I have a man, the big man will take care of it. He'll put in a little call to a buddy that he got us a major shout out to take care of you. We will look at Sacramento native Jacob too. If you got issues with us, we'll call up our boy Jacob and go, hey, Ryback's running his mouth. Can you take care of our light work? Anyway, so Ryback claims that an NDA may be forbidding Triple H's affair with a former superstar from going public. We love you, Jacob. And I'm like, why are you even running your mouth? Why do you always have to run your mouth about something? If Triple H had an affair, I don't think Stephanie McMahon would still be standing behind him. And if Triple H had dirty stuff in his background right now, it would all be out in the air because of everything going on with Vince McMahon. They are digging so deep into WWE with what happened with Vince McMahon. There are so many people up their butts. If there was any factual truth to this, we would be hearing a lot more about it than Ryback's. He did the diddly with the. You know what, Ryback? You're just jealous that you didn't get to spend time with the diddler. You just never got invited to the diddler's parties, and that's what you're upset about. Triple H got invited. And here's the other thing. Why are people, just because they were associated with somebody at one time or they were at an event with somebody sometime, that they must know everything that person did? Triple H getting dragged through the mud because he went to a party with P. Diddy, so he must have known everything. It's like, do you think all these people put it all out in public? Now, of course, P. Diddy, the diddler, I guess he recorded a lot of this dumb stuff. So, I mean, if you're that stupid, I mean, you know, there's reasons to record things in a certain way and make sure they're kept deep and private. Some people understand that really well. But, I mean, it's like, just because you see a photo with people doesn't mean everybody knew everything everybody was doing behind closed doors. Good Lord. But I think Ryback's just jealous that he didn't get to get the Diddy with the diddler at the Diddy party. And I know how to make
Ryback is just jealous he didn't get hit with a bottle of oil, okay?
Hey, Ryback's just
oil.
Ryback's just jealous that his milkshake doesn't bring the boys to the yard.
Along those lines. Jeez.
The greatest thing about this show is making Mr. Z pop. That's the greatest thing about doing this. It's just finding that thing that's going to make that man start cracking up and popping.
Oh, man. And sober, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing in my system tonight. It's going to be a great night. Nothing yet. I mean, it's got it right here, but this is going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we talk about December 14th at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, the oldest stomping grounds for WWE and NBC. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night main event returning to NBC and Peacock, 8 p.m. Eastern on December 14th in the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. Saturday night's main event. We haven't seen a true Saturday night main event in years. It's awesome to see it finally coming back on. I think the last time we saw one was in late August 2008. How are you guys feeling about that? And the biggest kicker, we're going to get something super special, at least for this Saturday night's main event. I don't know if this is going to be a regular show, if this will be a once-a-month show, or how often we're going to get these. Go ahead.
4 times a year.
Okay, so we're gonna get him 4 times a year. But here's the biggest kicker: how are you guys feeling about the return of Jesse the Body Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, returning to the commentating team to commentate on Saturday night's main event? Talk about going back old school. How are you guys feeling about WWE bringing back Saturday night's main event and Jesse the Body Ventura back on commentary? Because if you want to learn, if you want to listen to somebody talk, you don't necessarily need to agree with everything he says sometimes. But if you want somebody who knows how to tell a story, Jesse the Body Ventura is good at that. I'm not saying about what he personally talks about or what he puts out there. We're not going to get into the controversy, but I mean, at least, you know, you can go watch his old show, and even if you think it's way out there, it was still interesting to listen to him tell the story because he's just got that storyteller pacing, the voice, everything about Jesse Ventura. When it comes to that, you're just like, yeah. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
There are two things you can do. One, you can go into Peacock, watch some old Saturday Night's Main Event, and so you can see what Big Time is talking about as far as how Jesse Ventura can operate. But if you want something more recent, look up Chris Van Lee interview with Jesse the Body, and you will get the same flow. You will understand what he brings to the table.
And in that interview,
so the idea of
I was going to say, in that interview, it's great because they also have Carrying Cross there, who does an impression of Jesse the Body Ventura, and then they call up Lil Sasso, who does one of the greatest impressions of Jesse the Body Ventura, and a great impression of Razor Ramon. But anyways, go ahead, Mr. Clark.
The potential for the modern day Saturday Night's Main Event is great. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's great music. There's, but they have to capitalize on it.
Yes.
Here's what we don't know, and we see if they can execute or not. You have Raw, you have SmackDown, you have pay-per-views. Can they still make these 4 Saturday Night's Main Events special? Can they still make it feel like it's worth your time and not just another show? That's what we don't know. And that's what we're going to have to find out.
And see, this is what Tony Khan should be doing, is doing 4 shows like this. That's a Battle of the Belts or a big special that's not pay-per-view that you're going to drag it in. I think it's going to hit big. I hope they use the old Saturday night main event music. Let's bring that back for these shows. And let's have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can. It's only 4 a year, so it's easier to focus on trying to make the feel special to fill in between other events. Mr. Z, your thoughts? Instead of staring into the infamous abyss on the other side of the screen, I don't know what you're staring into.
I was looking at tickets. Sorry, my folks. I was a big fan growing up of watching Saturday Night's Main Event, and if we can keep the nostalgia going, that would definitely be a huge thing. Guys our age enjoy stuff like that. Hopefully, the kids will enjoy it too.
If you didn't know, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade are trolling CM Punk with early birthday gifts as they send him a 100 birthday card. CM Punk's birthday may still be months away, but Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade decided to get him an early gift with a cheeky reference to one of his most iconic moments. CM Punk took to social media to share a birthday napkin for the 2 younger stars, playfully captioning, "The kids are all right when they're not being brats." Napkin is a playful callback to Punk's memorable rant at the AEW All Out 2022 press conference, where he famously said, "I'm old, I'm tired, I work with fucking children." The birthday napkin even joked about Punk's age, telling him to enjoy his fruit and protein ahead of his upcoming birthday on October 26th, where he'll turn 46, but they've said 100. So a very cute napkin that they sent him. Enjoy the fruit, I'm old, I'm tired. Lots of fun there.
That's great. That is
Now
great.
let's punch Mr. Z in the gut. Let's blow his heart out. Let's bring a tear to his eye as we talk about his faithful San Francisco 49ers and how they choked with a lead to the St. Louis Rams. And maybe all the blame belongs on the fact that Bailey was in attendance with her best friend, BFF for life, Mercedes Moné, Tamina, Naomi, and Layla Gray, all in attendance for the San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. The group of AEW WWE stars joined in San Francisco for LA for the big game. And sadly, the Rams would win 27-24, even though in the fourth quarter the Niners had a 10-point lead at 24-14.
I was at a function today watching that game. I thought it was in the bag. And then when I seen who was there, maybe she's the bad luck charm. She don't need to be anywhere near a Niner game.
He's not talking about you, Bailey. He's still humble and grateful that you shook his hand. He's talking about your friend, Mercedes Monet.
Yeah, that no. Why'd you have to bring that up, man? That was a tough loss. Now you hurt my feelings.
Because Bailey was
in a good mood.
I gave you the warning. I gave you the warning. I told you were going to get a gut punch. I brought it up. I told you I was going to put a tear in your eye. I knew it was coming. Hey, but you know what? Speaking of Sunday football, if you weren't watching the Niners versus the Rams in Los Angeles tonight in SoFi Stadium, maybe you're watching the Chicago Bears and saw wearing a Bears jersey get eliminated from the stands. Yes, Seth Rollins makes an appearance at the Chicago Bears game during WWE's absence. Seth Rollins, who's recently made his comeback after recovering from a knee injury, suffered another blow on August 5th episode of Raw. He was brutally attacked by Bronson Reed and hasn't competed since. However, despite his time away from wrestling, Rollins has recently been spotted at the Chicago Bear games. Seth is obviously a football fan, a very passionate one at that. That's why it comes as no surprise that he made an unexpected appearance at the Chicago Bears game against the Indianapolis Colts. As seen by footage online, Seth Rollins was in the stands alongside Pat McAfee and others when suddenly T.Y. Hilton dumped him out of the stands and Rollins made his way in the back. Seth Rollins is being advertised for Saturday night's main event in December. Therefore, we will have to wait and see whether the Visionary will make his return by the time Saturday main event takes place. He is certainly making the most of his time off during this hiatus as he gets eliminated. And the only thing I can say is Mr. Z pointed out that he was wearing a Chicago Bears jersey earlier. So if he's wearing a Chicago Bears jersey, does that make him a CM Punk fan? I don't know, Seth Rollins. Mr. Z is calling you a CM Punk fan. How does that make you feel? And if it upsets you, Seth Rollins, we welcome you to join the Choppy World Tour. And you can come chop the big man. You name the place, the time. We'll show up with the big man and the medium-sized man, and we'll get the show a-rolling.
There you go. Oh, man. Talking about me looking out into the abyss, and I have to go there. AEW in Stockton, we have a AEW 5+
Hold up. Slow your roll. Simone Watchman states those beautiful women wasted their time at a Niners game.
Oh! I got nothing. That was a good one. He got with that one.
Mr. Z, you were looking into the abyss. Go ahead.
AW at Stockton. We got AW plus playback, so pack of tickets. Well, face and they have me 3.
All right, Mr. Z is no longer here as he's cracking like a bag of popcorn at the moment.
AT&T. Thank you, AT&T.
Go ahead, try it again.
All right. No, buy one, get ones for AEW in Stockton.
Well,
we have a 5-pack and a 4-pack.
How much is a 4-pack?
Mr. Khan. Let me see what it said. It says seat tickets, the plus 3-packs. It's all for the general admission camp. Each ticket $38.
Not bad. That's a way drop from the 100 they originally were. Anyway, speaking of football,
you buy 4,
go ahead.
38 a piece. Yeah. If you buy 4, 38 a piece. If you buy 5, 40 a piece.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of football, the University of Colorado had a big game this Sunday, and guess who was there? Two men who may eventually get a chance to face off against one another in a professional wrestling ring. Braun Breaker and the man that made his professional wrestling debut today in WCW many, many years ago against Hugh Morris, the one and only Bill Goldberg. Yes, Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, or not Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker on the sidelines of the University of Colorado game on Sunday. Yes, Braun Breaker and Goldberg connected at the Colorado University game where Goldberg's son Gage plays for Coach Prime's team. Goldberg has gotten pretty involved with his son's career as he has also been spotted at Gage's practices, providing with motivation and support. WWE proudly shared the photo of Goldberg and Braun Breaker on their social media, showcasing a significant moment that fans would want to see. This was quite a meetup at the University of Colorado. Both Braun Breaker and Goldberg share a similar journey from football to the world of professional wrestling. Braun Breaker played college football for the Kennesaw State Owls as a freshman in 2016. Mr. Clark, why are you going bye-bye? Okay. He contributed on special teams and defense, later shifting to the offense as a running back in 2017. He entered the NFL draft in February of 2020, but went undrafted. And in April of 2020, he signed with the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent fullback, but was released in August. Goldberg, on the other hand, earned a scholarship to the University of Georgia, where he played college football as a defensive tackle. He was selected by the Los Angeles Rams in the 11th round of the 1990 NFL draft, but never played for them. His NFL debut came with the Atlanta Falcons in 1992, where he played until 1994 and formed a friendship with Deion Sanders. That friendship likely helped his son get to the University of Chicago later on. Goldberg's NFL career ended due to an injury, and he made a seamless transition into the world of professional wrestling. It'll be interesting to see if Goldberg and Braun Breaker's paths will ever cross in a wrestling ring and not just on the gridiron.
Well, first of all, the fact that we now know for sure they've at least met. They know each other, maybe not well, but they know who each other is.
Yes.
It brings upon the possibility that we may get a match down the line. That they're at least aware of each other in person.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. I got 4 likes and 7 viewers. Let's hit that like button. Get that big like up. I should have way more than 4. So, oh yeah, we do have we should have a lot more than 4 likes on this video. Let's get that like button. Let's hit that like button. If you haven't, tell us that you like what you're seeing. And whatever should be our final piece of news, at least here, as we hit the 1 hour mark, we're going to talk about Mick Foley re-signing his WWE Legend Steel, extending his legacy with the company. Mick Foley has re-signed his Legend Steel and will be staying with WWE. Some people may not be as happy with it. Braun Breaker is a whack. Okay. Samoan Watchman, not a big fan of the Braun Breaker, man.
Yes.
Anyways, Mick Foley is resigned. He's staying with his legendary contract. I don't know if everybody will be happy with the recent comments of Mick Foley trying to basically remember the good in Vince McMahon and remembering him for who he might have been and not who he became. Some people not taking too kindly because of the recent accusations and allegations against Vince McMahon, which will also have a big documentary that is released on Netflix on September 25th, where they're going to document some of that stuff in details, and I guess more stuff is coming out about it all very, very soon. But Mick Foley still with WWE. I'm glad he's still a part of it. Even in Legend Steel, we get to still play Mick Foley in WWE games. Probably still get some Funko Pops, some action figures of Mick Foley. Hey, let's let the legacy live on with Mick Foley. What he says about Vince, it's his personal opinion. Whether you like Vince McMahon or don't like Vince McMahon, whether you support him or don't support him, is neither here nor there at this point. We have to let all that stuff settle itself out. But we love Mick Foley. Thank you for the big thumbs up. And we'll support Mick Foley because Mick Foley has given more to this business than a whole lot of other people. I mean, a man that flew off a 20-foot Hell in a Cell cage and crashed through a table, and they got put through the Hell in a Cell cage and fell from the top of the Hell in a Cell cage to that ring mat, which doesn't have a whole lot of give. When you fall 20 feet to a ring mat that has a padding about that thick and then a bunch of pieces of wood underneath it, yeah. And he lost his tooth through his nose. He's lost an ear in Germany. Yeah. This man has given a lot more to the world of professional wrestling and deserves nothing but love, regardless of whether we agree with every personal comment he says.
Let's state it for the record real quick. Let's state it for record. That ring is not forgiving. Hell, we were fortunate enough to step foot inside of that hollow ground. It's not forgiving. That's for sure. So yeah, we can.
Do you know this from personal experience? Because I mean, you weren't necessarily slammed to the mat. I mean, you got chopped by a freight train called Chima.
It does not feel. It doesn't feel forgiving from under your feet.
But do you know what it feels like to be slammed on a
Standing
wrestling
in there.
mat?
That's here nor there. I got no comment on
that. So you don't really know what it feels like. So maybe we need to get you in a ring and let you take a full body slam, so you can experience it.
I do not.
So you can make those.
All that.
So you can make those comments, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the Choppy World Tour and the Body Slam Contest. Can you body slam the big man? Who is up for the challenge?
You paying my medical bills, homeboy? I'm too old. I'm too old for that.
You're a young pup.
I am too old for that.
You're a young pup.
You wish. You wish.
You're younger than me, so you're a young pup.
Or Chaos Theory wishes, one of the two.
Anyways. Yes, that mat is not pretty good.
You know, though, as much as a spectacle as Mick Foley going through Hell in a Cell, or going through the cage, whatever, from the top and hitting the mat, it's not like he wasn't kind of in training as Cactus Jack in WCW, doing the elbow drop from the ring to the outside. Now, it's not as big of a drop, granted, but his body was getting used to some pretty hard.
We've got one, ladies and gentlemen. The Samoan Watchman has volunteered to slam the Big Z man. Samoan Watchman, come out to Supreme Pro Wrestling, and maybe we can get that hookup happening.
Oh my God. I've already called people out, and I'm starting to kind of bite down on that call out after who accepted the Choppy challenge. The one monster himself. I know my son will want to see that because that's his favorite wrestler.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen,
My response was on Twitter.
We're 1 hour into the wonderful show that we call the weekly roundup. This is what normally goes out on our weekly roundup. We also have some other stuff that we normally do. We're gonna get to a New Japan Rebound podcast tidbit, a tasty toe moment of the night with Mr. C here momentarily. Sometimes we get a Clark report from Mr. Clark, but we're gonna take a brief break. We're gonna talk about the Choppy World Tour, but we're gonna let you see where the Choppy World Tour started, and we'll be right back. It's the Value Wrestling. I'm the big time Mr. Z. We're here with the indie god himself, Matt Cardona. This is real. The Choppy is about to go down. Let's go. Let's see it. Oh.
This guy just paid me $50. Matt Cardona, check out the Value Wrestling.
Cool.
Let's get excited. All right, guys, hey, come on, take care of it real quick. Out here is the Value Wrestling podcast and YouTube show. Hey guys, I just wanted to bring you guys into the ring and get to know everybody Value Wrestling, I'm the big time. This is the big man of Value Wrestling. And we're starting. Hey, DJ, turn the volume up a little bit. I'm not back here, so I can't. Let's go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Value Wrestling. I'm the big time. This is the big man, our big man. And we recently started the Choppy World Tour with Matt Cardona. And we're making a donation towards what we got to bring out the biggest bag. Wait. Each y'all. It's the Choppy World Tour continue. Who we got? Okay, who do you guys think has the best chops in SPW? Okay. I think I hear the majority is Chima. Hey, Chima, get on over here. Come on, big dog. He wants a taste of your chop. Give him your best chop.
It's about to go down.
I don't know if it counts. There we go. You know what you want. What more you want? You got one shot at this. You got one shot. I want to make this the biggest, loudest shot they've ever heard. All right, okay. Thank you guys so much. Give it up for Value of Wrestling. Make sure you follow them on their social media platforms. Take that. Thank you so much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Choppy World Tour. Your mic is off if you were trying to say something on air, if you were just mouthing. You had something to say?
We're getting a lot of people watching. That's good to see.
Yes. No, if you're watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Give us likes. We thank you for being here. That is the Choppy World Tour. Matt Cardona started it. Shima of Supreme Pro Wrestling continues it. And now the challenge has been made. We have somebody who's possibly set up, and it might be a great opportunity to join, come out and check out some Supreme Pro Wrestling action, because a Supreme Pro Wrestling alumni, a current New Japan Pro Wrestling star, was challenged by Mr. Z if he could chop better than Shima, the Punjabi Lion. And he kind of answered the call. One J.R. Kratos. Could he possibly make his return to SPW and do the choppy? Will he be next? Are you next? Who's next? If you want to be part of the Choppy World Tour, hey, if you're watching and want to be a part, we could get it made. We are looking at Lodi Comic-Con, where both MVP and Shelton Benjamin are going to be. Can we get a Choppy World Tour continuation at Lodi Comic-Con Fall? Is September 28, 2024. That's this coming Saturday. Could we see that? Could we see it in stereo? Could we get MVP and Shelton Benjamin a double choppy? Could set the first for the double choppy. Do it in stereo. Or could we find Mr. J.R. Kratos? Could he be the man that shows up at New Japan Pro Wrestling to hit down the big choppy? I would eat that chop. Could we see that? Or shall we call out one of our old friends in Jacob Fatu? We were supporting that boy before he even got to WWE. He gave us one of our first shout outs with our other boy, AJ Kirsch. Could we see Jacob Fatu, the enforcer for the tribal chief? Could we get Jacob Fatu to give the Choppy World Tour? Hey, you never know what's going to happen, and that's what the great thing is. SPW Supreme Pro Wrestling has some of the greatest talent you're going to find in independent wrestling, and has a legacy of some biggest names that have came through there, like J.R. Kratos, like Shotzi, like Timothy Thatcher, like John Morrison, like so many other names that it's a long list. There's a lot of big names that have come through SPW, and if you want to see some of these big names, you might want to come out and check out Supreme Pro Wrestling and have a lot of fun with Supreme Pro Wrestling, especially on Sunday, October 20th, 2024, when Supreme Pro Wrestling brings you Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. They're going to have the costume battle royal. It's going to be a fun time. Come up to Elk Grove, California, to the Indoor Soccer World Arena, or what we call the SPW Arena, the house the SPW is building. We're going to be there. The great thing about that is you can come out and watch the show. You can tune in to the Value Wrestling and listen to us commentate those amazing, awesome matches. We know that Guapo Lupe is going to be facing Scoot. We have the costume battle royal, and Ulamain is going to be taking on the Northern California Bay Area, infamously known Jekyll's, defending the SPW title. Ulamain on a run with that world title. Will he stand like the tribal chief? Will that be a long run with that SPW World Championship? There's a future star in the making in Ulamain. You need to come out and see this man wrestle. If nothing else, that is one great reason to come out. And of course, in the words of Scoot, you can come out to Supreme Pro Wrestling and you're going to get to see the sexy grandpa in action, because he will definitely be in the costume battle royal, one of his favorite matches. If you watch the Scoop with Scoot, you know I'm talking about Sir Samurai. He seemed to get really excited about a Halloween costume party. Who's going to dress up as who? Who's going to be there? It's going to be a cell race. It's going to be the biggest Halloween party that's going to be there. And I think choppy might be the key word if you come by the Value Wrestling table. Not only can you get a sticker, but we're going to pick up some candy. We're going to pick up something. I don't know what it's going to be. We're going to have a treat. We're going to have to give out a code word, and then we're going to have to sit down and brainstorm. Maybe it'll be a goodie bag of a couple of treats. We'll put in some money. We'll get some treats. We'll get it hooked up. We're going to have some fun. You want to come see the Value Wrestling and see us at Supreme Pro Wrestling, Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights, October 20th, the third Sunday. Every third Sunday of every month, they're at the Indoor World Soccer Arena in Elk Grove, California. They're home, the SPW Arena. You want to be there. SPW, some of the best wrestling action, some of the best independent action. You just saw Chima chop our boy. That's just a taste. Chima's an amazing talent. There are so many great names there. The high flying, there's like Nova, Choppy Challenge. Yes. Oh. We'd love to make a Choppy Challenge. Come out to Supreme Pro Wrestling. Say hi to us. Oh. I mean, Samoan Watchman, come out, say hello. Check out Supreme Pro Wrestling. You want to do it, it's going to be fun. It's a great place to bring the kids. There's some great names that are there. And if you want to relive history, I'm pretty sure there might be a very, very good chance you're going to see Mustafa Saeed in an SPW ring. If it's not a Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights, he is usually around. You can see a legend, an ECW legend, an Extreme legend, a gangsta, Smoky Mountain Wrestling legend. Yes, Mustafa Saeed. That is such an honor just to see him get in the ring and tied up with some of these guys, these younger guys, and show that he can still go. And the names of the list are great. And you want to come out and check it out. Supreme Pro Wrestling, October 20th. Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights, the Indoor World Soccer Arena. It's on Kent Street in Elk Grove. You just need to find Kent Street. If you put it in your GPS, it's going to kind of take you in the back way. What you need to do is go back out to that main street, stay up, stay north, make a left, go down 2 blocks, you'll see Kent Street. Take that left on Kent Street and go down a little ways, and you'll eventually run right into it. It'll say the Indoor Soccer Arena to your left. You'll follow that little road. Bada boom, bada bing. It'll be right there on your right. You're there. SPW tickets are $20 for adults. Kids 10 and under are 15. You can buy tickets at eventbrite.com, or you can buy tickets at the door. And always check the link to the description below to get to SPW on Facebook, where they have all the connection, all the information. They're going to tell you about everything going down. Wrestling, costumes, Halloween. What more can you ask for? You can come out dressed up as your favorite wrestler. Come bring the kids out. Let them dress out. Let them go trick-or-treating. It's going to be a fun time at Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights with Supreme Pro Wrestling, SPW, our boys. And as always, we are so thankful and humble to Scoot, Sir Samurai, every wrestler on that roster from top to bottom, and all the staff that makes all that happen. Me and Mr. Z, the big man, the medium-sized man. We always appreciate what you guys do and welcome us you into your house. Letting us get in the ring was an honor and a privilege. Was a small bucket list dream that we got to even stand in a wrestling ring. And who knows? Maybe one day, maybe the Value Wrestling will wind up in storylines. You never know. You never know what could happen. Mr. Z,
Oh yeah.
tell me about Supreme Pro Wrestling.
Oh man, Supreme Pro Wrestling. I mean, other than the fact that yes, we are very humble for everything they've allowed us to do in their house, welcoming us with open arms. Um, I just can't help but be thankful for it. That's pretty much the end of the day. We're just thankful and humble for it.
And why should people come out and see SPW?
It's just the great matches, the great shows. I mean, if they've watched some of our live commentary, I mean, we did film an entire show. That action gets right into your lap,
Yeah,
and you
it
guys have
does.
fun. Yes, treat it like a family outing, folks.
Let's get
Take the
excited.
kids, let them enjoy some wrestling.
And Mr. Z, whoops, why did we get over there? I hit the wrong button. I don't know why. We're not going to go back to Choppy World Tour. But Mr. Z, while you have the floor, the New Japan Rebound Podcast, Tuesdays on Patreon at this time. That may change in the future, but Wednesdays right here on YouTube, you can catch the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound Podcast. Oh, you froze up there. Okay, now you're unfroze. But you can catch the New Japan Rebound Podcast right here on YouTube on Wednesdays. And, of course, the newest show, and Mr. C is working one about the Murder Grandpa into New Japan Pro Wrestling Deep Dives. Hopefully, we're going to get another one of those episodes out later this week where he's going to deep dive into the Murder Grandpa and give you a whole discussion, let you know all about the Murder Grandpa. But, Mr. Z, tell us what to expect this week with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound Podcast. Give them a little taste, give them a little sample. Just don't give them tasty toes.
Oh, never that. So this week, I got 4 events on the app, and all of them were stellar events. Road to Destruction 2024, all of them taken out from the arena in Japan. It's just I'm looking at the card itself from what I've watched, and this one was more based off of United Empire and LIJ. This was a lot of 50-50 booking, which was really great. We had LIJ's Naito and Yota Tsuji against TMDK's Kosi Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr. It was a great match. I'm always impressed seeing Taka Michinoku in the ring. I don't know why. The man can go. He's been doing it big. Him and Dougie taking House of Torture. House of Torture, their subset of Bullet Club, still doing what they do best. If I got to see a push-up bar one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. I've already lost my hair. No title matches this time around, but just solid matches all around, folks. Tune in Tuesday. I'll give you the rundown as we make our way to Wrestle Kingdom and the World Tag League. Let's just get hyped for it. Wrestle Kingdom's right around the corner.
Yes, Wrestle Kingdom coming around the corner. And a deep dive with the Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki. Going to be something worth watching.
That deep dive, I am still working on, but I mean all the stuff that I found, you guys will enjoy. It'll be the greatest 15 minutes of your life. You'll enjoy getting just a background story of Minoru Suzuki and why they call him the Murder Grandpa. Yeah, it'll be enjoyable.
As long as you don't get caught on a subway train in Japan with the Murder Grandpa Minoru Suzuki, because he might pull a gun, he might pull a Cash Wheeler, but you know, just watch yourself. Great way to pop tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've hit 1,000 subscribers. We talked about this event for a long time, and the promises were made, and now it's time to cash in those chips. Mr. Z, many months ago, you talked about when 1,000 people happened. We talked about this back when WWE was in Australia with, I believe, Elimination Chamber. So we're going all the way back to February. They did a shoey on stage. Now it's your chance to live up to the dream and make your moment, make it shine bright. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one.
Shoe, folks.
Mr. Z, the big man, and the hour, the mallard, the moment that you've been waiting for, 1,000 subscribers. Here is the shoey. Shoey, 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 shoey. Chug, 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 chug. Ladies and gentlemen, the very first official, very first unofficial shoey right here on the Value of Wrestling, brought to you by Mr. Z.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Z, nothing but flowers. You do so much for this. You do so much for this channel. It's awesome to see where you came from when you started on this channel all those months ago. Originally showing up on the weekly Roundup podcast as a third commentator and guest, to growing and developing and even developing your own show as New Japan Rebound podcast, to now carrying two shows. Not weekly. You do one show weekly. The deep dive maybe every other week or once a month, depending on time and restraints. But I mean, you have come leaps and bounds and everything you do, taking on this and taking on and stepping up to really fulfill the dreams of this choppy world tour, and not being like, no. I mean, he has taken these chops like a man. He stood there. He's fully involved, and he's out there challenging anybody who wants to get in on it. I mean, going out there and challenging some of the names that he challenged, like J.R. Kratos. I think Mr. Clark put it best. Are you crazy? Are you trying to put your life in danger? We saw what Shima did. I don't know what J.R. Kratos could do. And we're going to have to wait and see. And, of course, we have a big event coming up on October 28th. But I know Mr. Clark wants to bid his 2 cents into this conversation. So go ahead, Mr. Clark.
On one hand, you definitely deserve your flowers, Mr. Z. Whether it's the Choppy World Tour, whether it's the deep dive, whether it's the New Japan Rebound podcast, you definitely deserve your flowers. But I think off of Pasta Kingdom by the Toadies, they have a lyric that just perfectly just makes me. It's a perfect question when it comes to J.R. Kratos. Do you want to die?
I thought there was a better one, a better line from a song. It also came in a movie called Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams. I believe it was Cypress Hill who sang "Insane in the Membrane."
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I knew what I was
Insane in the head.
But we'll find out if he answers the challenge. If he shows up, it's going down.
So what we need you all to do is, if you're on X, you need to go find our tweets. We're calling out J.R. Kratos and the folks at SPW, J.R. Kratos alumni at SPW. We need this to happen in SPW ring. J.R. Kratos, let's see you in California. Holler at your boys. Let's get this choppy event done. Hopefully Scoot and Sir Samurai and everybody at SPW allow it to happen. So go retweet that out, or go tweet him and tell him you were watching the Value Wrestling, you were watching the 1,000 subscriber special, and he was challenged to join the Choppy Tour. I just say, who's next?
Very true.
Yeah.
But you know what also would make that special? Is the fact that J.R. Curtis has been a New Japan talent. Giving that chop to our New Japan, representative or correspondence, if you will, for all intents and purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that was very much part of why he did it. Our New Japan guy calling out a New Japan star. I just think I want to dare you. I've got a dare for you, Mr. Z. Mr. Z, my newest dare for you.
Uh-oh.
After your deep dive, I hope you end it with this one statement. Mr. Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki, will you be the next contestant on the Choppy World Tour? I dare you to call out the Murder Grandpa.
We shall see. We'll find out when that's out, won't we?
I think we should also pay homage to one of our favorite AEW stars, who knows how to chop a man, and I love to see you get chopped by him. Our boy from Yonkers, Eddie Kingston, the Madman. Yes.
You would get kicked out of that. Be my wife, okay? So she would definitely pay in for that one.
I mean, hey, if we set it up, if we get it up, Eddie Kingston, come out, make this man's wife happy, chop him, we'll get her a front row seat to the event. Choppy World Tour is going to go on, and I'm telling you, we want to start this as fun and jokes. Hopefully, we'll eventually have a shirt that we can sell that'll say Choppy Choppy World Tour Value of Wrestling. We want to list the names of everybody who joins us at some point, and maybe somewhere down the line we can turn this into a charity event of some form or fashion, where we can help raise money for some type of charity. Make it fun, whether it's a Choppy Choppy World Tour where we print shirts and all the shirts we print, proceeds go to charity, or whether we raise funds by, it's somebody, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Lots of goals and ambition, and it's a great thing to always be like, hey.
Oh yeah.
So
We
go.
We strive big when we've had a high bar, and we just keep getting there. And
We're gonna blow the roof off the place. We're changing things. We're making moves. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the little small podcast that was and is and could is continuing down these tracks, and we're pushing up the mountains, and we're gonna climb higher than an eagle, because we are going to make it big, and we are going to be in the names. We're going to be in those levels. When we start talking about the big names in wrestling podcasts, you're going to be talking about the value of wrestling. We're already getting recognized across the area for everything we do. We're excited. People are going to be at Lodi Comic Con. We're going to be excited about that. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. But we're definitely excited for all of that, and we are excited to do things like the Choppy Choppy World Tour, like Lodi and Stockton Comic Con, like working with SPW, like working with Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling, like trying to get out to WrestleMania, like everything we are trying to do and grow and get bigger, and like our big event that's coming up when we get to sit down with Bay Area native, Mr. Tough Enough, the Rock Promo Champion, the Gut Check Challenger, a former All-Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion, and of course one half of the YOLO Tag Team Champions.
Yes.
Our boy, the voice of Stockton and Lodi Con, the one, the only, the incomparable, A.J. Kirsch. We are going to get to sit down with him Saturday and do this interview where we're going to talk about A.J. Kirsch, where he started, what got him into wrestling, how he found wrestling, what it was like to be on Tough Enough, and what it was like to wrestle in all these wonderful places. He's wrestled from WWE to APW to New Japan. He's wrestled against New Japan, not on New Japan. He's wrestled all over different areas in Sacramento, and in California. He's worked with Hood Slam. He's worked with WWE, AEW, even in a dark match when they were doing Dark. You can go back to Dark episode 71, where he tagged up and took on Top Flight on a Dark show. He's been on WWE TV in matches twice, at least, that I can research, and he's been all over California, let alone he's been on WWE as security, as a suspended New York cop, and WrestleMania, where he got to help Kelly Bailey out to the ring. So lots to talk about, deep dive into his career and his future. We'll get to see what he's doing, has he officially retired from in-ring wrestling. We're going to talk about how he transferred from wrestling to commentary, because he does a lot of great commentary. It's going to be a fun time. Can't wait to get that interview done, get it prettied up, get it edited, and get it out to you, the fans, so you too can know our buddy, our pal, AJ Kirsch. And we'll see. We might have a couple requests of AJ. Maybe we'll get AJ to join the Choppy Choppy World Tour. It might be a three-peat Choppy Choppy day for Mr. Z at Lodi Comic Con. So, hey, if you want a reason to come out to Lodi Comic Con, maybe you come out and you get to see the big man and the medium-sized man live. We'll be giving out stickers, but you also might get to see the big man get chopped. Not once, but maybe twice. You won't get to see him get chopped if we get AJ to agree to it. That might be after hours. That might be part of the after interview special. A reason to tune back into the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I see we got 10 people in the room. Hello, drop in the chat, say hello. But also hit that like button. I got 6 likes, 10 people in here. The math doesn't math. Let's make it happen.
Not Steiner math, folks. Let's go.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we were an hour and a half into this wonderful show, and we just keep going. We're going to take a quick break as we play an ad for you. If you're a Funko Pop fan or a Funko Pop collector, whether it's Wrestling Night, the ones behind me, or any other, we have connections with the Goldmine. The Goldmine description, a link for the description of the Goldmine is in the link for the Goldmine is in the description of this video below. I promise you I can talk. We're going to play a quick ad for them, and we'll be right back. This is the Value Wrestling on the big time, and I'm here with some great news. Are you a Funko Pop collector? Are you searching for some hard-to-find Funko Pops? Are you just looking to complete a collection? Well, the Value Wrestling is teamed up with the Goldmine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Goldmine, which can be found on Facebook, or by going to the description below and clicking the link, you can sign up to join the Goldmine, who will help you find those hard-to-find, rare pops. They'll help you complete your collection. Just let them know when you're signing up what Funko Pops you're looking for, and that the Value Wrestling sent you. The Goldmine, the ones that are going to help you to find those rare-to-find pops and help you finish your collection. All can be done at the Goldmine. Sign up today and make sure you tell them the Value Wrestling sent you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Go check out the Goldmine for Funko Pops, and we're going to make that other announcement. I told you we have a Bailey action figure to give away. This is Bailey Elite Series, I believe, 109 in the package, unopened. Drop a comment in the comment below. We'll put you in the drawing to win that Bailey Elite Series action figure. So far, we have Chaos Theory, Kayla, and the Samoan Watchman, who've all dropped in the chat. I see there's 7 people in here, people in and out. So join in the conversation, join in the chat for your chance to win that action figure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 1,000 subscriber celebration. It's the 1,000 subscriber weekly roundup celebration show. We're having a fun time. We saw Mr. Z pull off this shoey live right here on camera. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to transfer it over to Mr. Clark with your weekly Clark report. And we're going to have a little fun. But Mr. Clark, do you have any news, segments, or anything you want to bring up to the audience tonight before we get to the official?
No real specific news, but this Wednesday, like we were saying earlier, you can watch AEW Dynamite. It'll be a show. But on Netflix, they're dropping all 6 episodes of the Mr. McMahon docuseries. And that is going to be an intriguing watch, in my opinion. You grow up, watching a lot of these documentaries that have come out beforehand. You should pretty much know Vince McMahon's upbringing, generally speaking, how WWE became a thing. But to have modern interviews with the friends and family, and most of these before allegations came out, and then you add the allegations on top of that. How interesting is this Netflix documentary going to be? What are we going to get that's both going to reaffirm what we already know and continue with where is this going?
Yeah, it should be an intriguing watch. We can't wait for Netflix.
Calm down.
And we'll see how it comes out. Maybe we'll talk about it here on air after we all get a chance to watch it. It's going to be a busy week with that. Of course, tomorrow night we're back with the Monday Night Raw post-show review, where we'll break down everything on Monday. Fridays we're here with SmackDown post-show review. In between, speckled in other things, sometimes we get episodes of Big Time Rants. I think it's about time for another wrestling collectibles show to come up. And, of course, there's a lot of other things that are going to go down. Hopefully this week we'll see the return of the In Markdom We Trust. Usually comes out Wednesdays on the channel. We'll see what else. And, of course, we always have Patreon as a backup. You can go over to Patreon, where Tuesdays the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast takes place. Patreon's absolutely free. Go sign up. Go over there and sign up. Patreon, something we're trying to grow and expand as we expand out in all types of different directions. And, of course, eventually maybe Twitch. Of course, we've also started a Discord. When we decide to finally open that up to everybody, we will let you know when we can join the Discord where the conversation can keep talking. And who knows, you might get the chance to chat with us in the chat groups that will be available. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's the time. It's the hour. It's the moment. It's what Mr. Z has been waiting all week for. It's what he's been waiting month after month after month. I mean, if there's anything that's going to get Mr. Z more giddy than a choppy World Tour experience, if there's anything that's going to get Mr. Z more giddy than Will Ospreay wrestling in New Japan Pro Wrestling, if there's anything that's going to get Mr. Z more giddy than a big meaty meat match, it's going to be Mr. Clark.
Oh, here we go.
Doing his best dance revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed video for you right here. Enjoy. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you survived that, you're still with us. Congratulations. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, all the flowers of respect
That
for
was
Mr.
great.
Clark for following through and putting that
Yes.
video package together, doing the dance video. Mr. Clark does a lot behind the scenes. He's not the biggest on-screen talent here at the Value Wrestling, but he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He's a big reason the Patreon exists and pushing it, and he keeps a lot of the things in the background running and happening. And again, like we said with Mustard Z, there's nothing but all due respect to Mr. Clark for everything he does to help keep this channel going and producing. We wouldn't be at 1,000 subscribers. We wouldn't be at almost 1,000 videos at that too without Mr. Clark and everything he brings to the channel. He's a big behind-the-scenes person that keeps a lot of this running. One half of the founding fathers of the Value of Wrestling, doing his thing to make everything work here. He's not always the biggest on-camera guy, but, we have to give him credit that he went out there, made the dancey, and if you really have to know Mr. Clark like I do, and people who know Mr. Clark are probably sitting there going, oh, he actually did that, because he's not one to do that, but he made a promise, and he's going to follow through on his agreement, and I know that took a lot for him to get the motivation together to do it, and the willingness to put it out there, knowing that it's on the internet, and it's forever.
Hey,
Well, thank you,
I got a
Mr.
question.
Clark.
You think Tony Khan said that? We need Tony Khan to get a hold of that video. We need a dance off between him and Nana.
We can get a dance off between Tony Khan and Mr. Clark. Okay, let's get that happening. The great dance off.
Why not?
Yes, there you go.
The one little tidbit I wanted to put in there, though, is when you look at the fact that we started off as a Facebook group just to talk, just to share and talk about wrestling. And then we eventually got onto YouTube and started a podcast. And to look where we are now, I think it's amazing that we're at 1,000 subscribers plus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean,
I wouldn't have been a part of it in the beginning. I wasn't even here. I was brought in as an idea of I could do it. And
well,
I
this
appreciate you guys for letting me jump on board.
This started a couple years ago with me, Mr. Clark. We brought forth the first part. We tried to suffer through whatever stuff was in the beginning, whatever we were watching that was horrible wrestling that would actually make AEW today look like the best wrestling in the world.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, Lord.
And we started, and then life happened, and different things pulled us in different directions. And then a little over a year ago, me and Mr. Clark finally sat down and go, we need to really put the effort into this. And we have. And today we stand here with 1,101 subscribers. A huge collection. I believe it's 900 and something, 44. I don't know. We're getting closer to 1,000 videos. Playlist galore. We are almost at 365 of this date in wrestling history, something that's been done every day for almost the last year. We're about 12. We're about less than 2 weeks out before that ends. We have, of course, 57 episodes of this weekly podcast right here, the weekly roundup. We've done 57 episodes, over a year worth of weekly roundups. We have your SmackDown Raw reviews. We have the New Japan Rebound podcast, Raw reviews, 108 episodes of my big time rants, and so many more other things on the channel. So much more you can deep dive into. That's awesome. All types of different things, fun stuff, great stuff. That is tried and true. And of course, if you look through the channel and there's something you see that we used to do that we're not doing anymore, it's time in life, but it's also, if you fans want to see it, let us know. Flashback Wrestling, where I review old wrestling pay-per-views, we definitely should and can bring that back, along with any other things that you see on here. So, Value Wrestling has gone from something that was to something that is, and we've talked a big game through a lot of it. I won't lie. We've talked big. We've talked high and mighty. We've done things that I don't know if we necessarily really believed we were going to do, and they came through. I mean, the Matt Cardona story it is almost mythical in its sense of something we started off halfway as a joke to it actually happening, to creating the Choppy World Tour, which seems to be taking on a life of its own. So with that, you want to come out and meet the Value Wrestling. We're going to be at Lodi Comic Con on September 28th. That's this Saturday, September 28th. We're going to be at Lodi Comic Con all day, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to be there. We do have MVP and Shelton Benjamin. They're going to be there. AJ Kirsch, the voice of Lodi and Stockton Con, he's going to be there. SPW is going to be doing some live wrestling stuff. We hope to meet up with them, hopefully do some stuff with them, do some taping, do some talking, some fun stuff with SPW. Hopefully we'll run into some other big names within that realm. It's going to be an awesome time. Come out to Lodi this weekend. Saturday is Lodi Comic Con. Sunday they have a card show. It's going to be back to back. SPW is going to be out there all weekend long, both Saturday and Sunday, bringing you some of the best wrestling action you're going to find anywhere. So it's a good reason to come to Lodi. It's at the Great Festival grounds on Saturday and Sunday. The Lodi Comic Con on Saturday, card show on Sunday. What an event! What a fun time! A great time for the family. It's all types of collectible stuff. Whether it be comics, games, toys, action figures, video games, collectible card games, anime, manga, or Funko Pops. They're also going to have a costume contest. And from what I understand, they're also going to have an area where they're going to have video games and card tournaments going on, plus the pro wrestling. $5 to get in the doors. Tickets start at $5. You can go to LodiComicCon.com to get tickets. Kids 12 and under are free with a paid admission. And some of the other names that I know are going to be there: Brandon McKinney, David Andre, Vanessa Marshall, Taylor Gray, Pete Capella, Lisa Ortiz, Jason Griffith, and Candy Milo, along with MVP and Shelton Benjamin. Just some of the names that are being listed there, plus many, many other names. You can go to Lodi Comic Con. That's LodiComicCon.com. LodiComicCon.com. For all the information, all the details. You can purchase tickets through the website, or if you want to look for local areas where they're selling tickets, you can go there and purchase tickets at those locations. It's going to tell you there. It's going to give you a list of everybody who's going to be there, give you all the details. LodiComicCon.com. So much there. And we're busy. I mean, we got Lodi Comic Con. It's the fall edition. Of course, they do Lodi Comic Con in the fall and spring, and they do Stockton Con in the winter and summer. And it's going to be a fun time to be out there and check it out. And I know they just recently added some other big names. They've got some artists that are going to be out there. There is so many great artists at these events. So much great stuff to look at. So much wonderful stuff. If you're a pop culture enthusiast, it's a fun time. There's so much to look at, so much you can spend the whole day there really having an enjoyable time. Mr. Z, tell me about Comic-Con. You're kind of more at the deep end, knowing all about it.
I mean, like I said, if you went to Stockton Con, Lodi Con's just as good and just as fun. I mean, what other reasons why not to go if you're a comic book lover, a card collector, pop collector, as myself and Big Time are. If you really want to find, other than reaching out to the Goldmine, I mean, this would be the spot where you can probably find a hard to get pop. Hell, you might even run to the man that runs the Goldmine and be able to have a conversation with him.
And just to pick up on that note, yes, our boy at the Lodi Comic Con, the man behind, not Lodi Comic Con, the Goldmine, the man behind the Goldmine has told me he will be there to have, to check everything out. So he will be there. He won't have a booth, but he is going to be there. He is going to be coming out to check it all out. He's going to be wandering around. He will probably meet up with us. We're probably going to have a conversation with him a little bit, along with other things. So yeah, you definitely want to come out and check that out, because he will be there.
Oh yeah. This is going to be fun, folks. I'm looking at the pricing of certain individuals, and MVP still doesn't have one yet, but Shelton Benjamin, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yes, Lodi Comic Con, Lodi, California, Lodi Great Festival Grounds, Saturday, September 28th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I can talk, I promise. Tickets $5 each. LodiComicCon.com. Get your tickets or get ready. It'll be a lot of fun stuff. And it's a busy week. We'll be there bright and early. We're going to be there late. We get to sit down with AJ and do the interview with him. And once we get AJ, we've got some other great ideas for interviews lined up. We're hoping to sit down maybe in a roundtable discussion. Maybe we sit down with Scoot and Sir Samurai, Scoot Robinson and Sir Samurai, at a table. Me, Mr. Z, and them two, and maybe we have kind of our own roundtable discussion there, and get into them. Maybe we bring a couple cold ones, make it a fun time. Maybe it's a table for three on a budget. Maybe we steal it. Maybe instead of nice steaks, we serve up McDonald's or something. I don't know. Maybe, we have fun with it. We're gonna have to sit down. We're gonna be sitting down at Lodi Comic Con, hopefully with Scoot and maybe Sir Samurai and all the staff from SPW, all of our boys over there. Hopefully getting a couple things done. We've got some great ideas. We can't wait to sit down and talk to them. But we want to sit down with them, hopefully do an interview there. We want to bring you more in depth. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to grow and help introduce more people to SPW and tell you why SPW exists, what SPW is all about. Of course, at Lodi Comic Con, we'll probably get some more great interviews with some of the great talent from SPW. We also are looking to interview the man behind Lodi Comic Con and Stockton Con, the man who started all the reason that these events happen. We are very interested in, and he is the president of Supreme Pro Wrestling, as we found out at Plead the Fifth this month when we were at SPW. So he's a great man. We're probably going to sit down and interview him. We're lining these out. We're going to get these started. We're going to have some interview segments. We are growing. We are bringing more stuff to the channel than you will ever imagine. It's going to be a fun time. Maybe if you come out to Lodi Comic Con, catch up with us, tell us the value of wrestling. Maybe we'll get you on the channel. We'll talk to you about what you love about professional wrestling. Take a few moments out of the day. There'll probably be a wrestling collectibles toy hunt. We may go around and do that for a little bit. Bring you some great content. Maybe it'll be a live stream. Maybe we'll live stream from the whole show. Who knows? Anything's possible at any time. It's just what the value of wrestling does.
Yeah. No.
Gentlemen, is there anything else you guys want to bring to the table? Anything else? This is our 1,000th celebration. Is there any great event? Is there anything you remember about the past of the value of wrestling? Is there anything you want to say to the fans? Okay, go ahead.
I had to. The second week I was on with you guys, the big mishap of the bike that fell in my garage when I was trying to film for you guys that you had to edit out of the show. Or doing the show from softball related.
Oh yeah. The great baseball field with all the traffic in the background.
Yes.
We do schedule these, ladies and gentlemen. These aren't just like, hey, we're gonna do a show right now. We do usually have these scheduled out, but hey, Mr. Z fly from the softball stadium. Oh, there's been some great times.
Oh man. Before I had my little area that's all nice, that the wife helped me set up. Whew.
Oh hell, I remember being so diligent in doing this and so wanting to make sure I follow through. I mean, there was that time where I was sick and I was still doing this date in wrestling history and barely surviving through some of these shows just because.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was miserable, but I wanted to put out what we had promised. It took me a long time before I finally stepped away from a show and said, okay, I need a break. I need a vacation. So I'm canceling this show. That was just because, we needed a break or I needed a break. Because for at least the last year, I mean, it's been a daily grind. I mean, at some point, there's not a day I don't think that we in some way are not working on this channel in some small way.
My very first big review, Wrestle Kingdom, I did with Mr. Click. That was fun. That was a very big, entertaining one because I was like, okay, this is the first time, the big time's not on this camera. It was like, okay, we got to keep pushing. And I've even with the rebound itself, I mean, you guys have given me your notes, have given me your suggestions, and I felt like I've been hitting it out of the park lately on how that goes. And that's been getting a lot of traction. Is beautiful.
And it's always fun when animals get into the shows, whether it is Mr. Z's wiener or old man, or whether it's my cat. That's got to be right here. You guys don't really see it. The boys always see it because I have when we do this show, I'm on one camera for y'all, and then the other camera is how they see me. So they see what's going on, and they see the cattle hole up better in that camera because she just has to be up here in my lap at the time we're doing these shows. She just has to be in the middle of it. And of course,
The old
Mr.
man's down here. He's staring at the empty shoe. Hopefully he doesn't stick his head in there anytime. What's left of it.
It's like, well, you drink out of it. Why can't I fill it back up?
Yeah.
Mr. Clark, what memories do you want to share? Come on, there's got to be some memories of greatness, let alone watching what UPW, whatever that crap was, that you're like, hey, we can watch this. I mean, I got to run you over with that, Bus, because that was kind of your first pitch of like, hey, we can watch this and review it.
Let's get that story for a second, though, because before UWN became a thing, United Wrestling Network is what it stands for. I would watch from time to time something called Championship from Hollywood, which was kind of like an earlier version before NWA Power became a thing. And, you know, like any indie, there's some hits or misses, but they were always a gateway to, you know, bigger things. So I figured since they were basically becoming what is now the UWN, the United Wrestling Network, I thought it was going to be a good thing. At least a hit or miss, but I didn't think it would just be as bad for my taste and for Big Time's taste as it wound up being. And we promised 4 episodes that we would review. We reviewed the 4 episodes, and it was by the second one I was willing to rage quit. And
He was out.
No, we promised the audience. I wanted to be out so bad. It's like, you know how much we talked trash on AEW? This was the UWN. So much potential, but just not used right.
And I'll tell you, people.
Obviously, in our opinion, you can go back to those episodes if you really want to. They're still on the YouTube channel, and you can see what we thought about those.
You could go back to Big Time talking about the Thunderdome when it first started. That was like before I started getting into it, and even I showed up. And he looks so miserable about it because it was such a bad idea.
We had a fight to get on there, and then you were just watching this show on your computer, and it was just like, and then they pipe in, okay, everybody cheer, get ready, we go, like, what the fudge?
No, but hey, I got to give it to W because that was fun for kids. The kids loved being able to see themselves on TV, on the little video screen. Like, they got a kick out of it more than any of us did.
No, some of those
but
first
you did get kicked out for whatever.
What I was just going to say was that give WWE credit in the sense that they did something different than everyone else on TV. Not just wrestling TV, on TV, period.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do with the NBA? What were you going to do with the NFL? What were you going to do, you know, with these other live content sports franchises?
Cardboard seats. Cardboard cutouts.
It was an interesting time in the world. It was an interesting time in the world. And I think it would be interesting. A lot of people, yeah, Mr. Clark was ready to wage quit, but you could give hate to me on a lot of things, but I've been the one that's been pushing, like, okay, I know it sucks, but we promised this. Now, I was one that kept AEW on this channel for as long as it was. Mr. Clark checked out way ago, and Mr. Z was just like, why? And I was like, because we have to. I tried. For as much hate as I give to AEW, I was the one that was holding on the longest until I was just like, I can't justify it anymore. I can't even get excited to talk about it. It was a chore. I remember that last one where I was on here solo and I just wanted to vomit all over the place.
That's what's weird. I can sit and watch quote unquote bad wrestling or wrestling I don't agree with their decisions. I can watch AEW, no problem. I can't come on here and talk about it if it's that big of a deal. Like, I mean, we still Dynamite, and I kind of capture clips for Rampage and Collision. I just can't come up on here and talk about it all the time.
We still watch the pay-per-views, and we try to make it sound as good as we can.
Yeah, the pay-per-views are starting to get down to that point where it's just ridiculous. And some of that just comes down to you get into those 0 hours and those 12 hours. And, of course, cramming everybody on the card, and you're just like, why has everybody got to be here? Hell, we used to watch Collision. We did 6 Collision reviews before we gave up on that. You can go back to the
way, folks.
the Value Wrestling in the early days, where we had some great videos. There was the original Raw Thunderdome, the Alexa Bliss. We did a couple about the Thunderdome. We talked about the Sonya Deville real life situation.
For Stalker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miro and AEW. We did a whole thing about Retribution and how it was garbage. Some crazy stuff from back in the day. Of course, Mr. Z is a big component of meeting AJ Kirsch and getting him a shout out in the channel. And of course, the biggest one, Jacob Fought too. So, I mean, that's definitely big things that he got done back in the days. Getting that moment with Jacob Fought too, which just kind of happened and was just kind of there.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, maybe I should. Let me see if I could swing it. But it got done.
And a beer later, and it was done.
Real chill about it.
Mr. Z, remember our first indie show together for the channel, Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling.
Oh my goodness. Great show. Awesome show. But damn, does that commentary. That was rough.
Yeah. Well, it's our first time together.
Getting to meet you. Yeah.
Yes, we got to meet Rikishi. We got our stuff signed. It was a fun time. But I mean, hey, we had the experience, and we were never going to have the experience if we didn't go out and do it. And now, not only do we have Realm of Warriors under our belt, but we got to walk into the house that SPW built for their first event, Lemonade.
Yes.
And now we've done Cruising for a Bruising and Plead the Fifth. And we're getting excited to build up to go to the October 20th show for Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. That's October 20th, 2024 on a Sunday. Doors open at 4:30, first bell at 5 p.m. Supreme Pro Wrestling. It's for a tag. You need to come out for this Halloween show, people. And we're going to make it worth your while. Got to make it worth your while.
Yes.
Speaking of indie wrestling, though, doesn't Realm of Warriors have an October show as well?
No, the Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling show was canceled and moved to November 2nd, I believe it is at this point.
Yes,
we're tracking that. We are on top of what's going on with that. We're hoping to be out there for that show. It just depends on what's going on with everything else. Supreme Pro Wrestling really became our forefront, our main home. I'm Mr. Loyalist in that sense. Like, we've really been welcomed in so many ways that we will always kind of keep them in the forefront because of what they've done for us.
Definitely.
When was that Realm of Warriors event? In May?
That should be up on. Yeah, it was May, I believe. It was a hell of a show, too.
It was a good show. We got to see Gangrel on it. A lot of great talent. Welcome back. Yep. We were winding up. We're talking about old stuff on the show. We're just having a fun time reminiscing about different things. Different jokes, different conversations. There we go. June 15th. Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling Summer Heat show all the way back on June 15th. June 16th, we went 2 hours and 40 minutes on this show.
Whew. Wow. Yeah, that was a long night. That was a long night for my son. That's for sure. You think he passed out back of the car?
Well, Realms of Warriors Championship Wrestling, it was a long day. We got up there, we found it, we got in there, we got set up. That was a fun time. They welcomed us up in with warm arms. Of course, what's his name still never wanted to talk to us. He was scared of us. So we did get to see
Jerry the Gigolo.
Yeah, Charity Gigolo was afraid to come talk to us and sit down and have that long interview, but hey, that's okay. We did get to see David Dutra, one half of the YOLO Tag Team Champions, with one AJ Kirsch, who we're going to get to interview this Saturday
Yes.
at Lodi Comic Con. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know, I promote the hell out of stuff, but that's what we're here for. These people are opening doors and letting us have opportunities, and you best believe I'm going to give them all the flowers, all the credit. We are working hard to bring these things together and make these things happen. Me and Mr. Z are spending, a lot of hours at the show, and then Mr. Clark working in the background to help out to make sure all these things are going in place. It's a lot. It really is more than I think a lot of people understand about just what goes into getting to all these events. But it's a fun time.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, just, geez, I'm still astonished where we're at, how far we've come. I can't, you know, like say about manifest destiny. Here we go. We're just gonna keep going. No, Mr.
Yes.
Clark likes to crack his jokes on me. Everyone, we guys have not went from picking on me, but you guys still do. But it's all good.
Hey, you know what? I commend you on this night of 1,000 subscribers. Listening while driving Uber, that's awesome. Thank you, Simone Werewolf. We appreciate you. You're listening and tuning in while you're Ubering. And let everybody know if they want to know what you're listening to, they need to check out the Value of Wrestling on YouTube. Some great stuff there. Yeah, I got to commend you. It's first time. I think this is the longest you've gone without putting foot in mouth. You have not had a tasty toes moment of the night yet.
No.
And
I was
it's.
gonna say you did.
Go ahead.
No.
What did he say? I
You
didn't catch
brought
it.
up you. He said the night's still young.
Oh, we could go. I mean, our longest show outside of covering SPW has our longest show at almost 3 hours. Of course, some of that is when we do the intermission and we just keep it running. But our longest show is 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I mean, we can break that record here. We may need to take a brief commercial break somehow, but we can make that happen. But anywho, yes, the night is still young.
No, I was gonna say.
I mean, I know how to do it. I know how to get you started. I can say one name. I can say one name that'll definitely get you going. We can talk about Kazuchika Okada.
Don't start. Don't start. Nope. No. I would like to go to bed in peace tonight without high blood pressure.
Can we talk about your favorite Tour de France, future Tour de France winner, Kota Ibushi?
God.
I can ride my bicycle.
But to circle back
And
for
no
a
one
second,
Go ahead.
where you were saying
ahead.
that we don't, Mr. Z, that we don't pick on you, because we spent the better part of 2 decades picking on each other. Sometimes you have to be that third person for a little while. But you notice he started, meaning big time, has started kind of teaming with you a little bit more to get on me, so it's a little more fair.
Oh, that's all good. That's
How
fine.
about
I'm
Quell?
just saying, like,
We're still trying to
what
reach.
happened,
We're still trying to reach out
Go
to your
ahead.
co-host for the Clark report, but Nia Jax hasn't returned our calls.
Oh, Lord.
We need to reach out to that fan you SmackDown who was all woe and ho about Nia Jax.
He was definitely
When you went
into
to-
it. I hope he's watching, and it's a lot of fun. I believe he was also at the Bailey thing. I believe he was part of winning those tickets with the Cricket Wireless and Bailey. And look, if it wasn't really for this channel, we probably wouldn't have met Bailey. It wouldn't have been in the cards to make that drive all the way up there. Because a lot of that, like, I wouldn't have necessarily just done that on the spur of the moment to go meet Bailey. I did that to get the experience, to bring it to you, the fans, to share the fun and excitement. Unfortunately, just wouldn't let us record inside with Bailey. Are we on time restraints, Mr. Z? Are you on a time restraint?
No. The boss lady, I think, is probably asleep on the couch at the moment, which is fine.
But yeah, I mean, those opportunities which led to
appreciate
us,
her.
those opportunities that led us to go in to see Bailey, we probably wouldn't have done just on our own on a whim, just because that is a far drive. It's an hour drive plus. And then we got the tickets to SmackDown, which is another whole nother experience that we got to bring to you guys. And hopefully we'll work out going to AEW's Collision, Battle of the Belts. And again, this wouldn't be something we just would want to go to for wanting to go to. It's more about going to bring you the experience and showcasing it to you. And that's be the only reason I might put money into it if Tony Khan isn't listening and help us with press passes.
Come on, Mr. Tony. I've been nice for 2 weeks now. You know how hard it is to be nice to that man? Does anybody know how hard it is for me not to get blocked by this man? I got blocked by Sean Ross Sapp twice.
Twice. You're blocked, unless he unblocked you, and then blocked you again.
He unblocked me and blocked me again.
Oh, geez.
Even the tampon bucks twice. They unblocked me and blocked me again.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is big news for the day. The biggest news coming out of AEW for this weekend, maybe. The newest signings to AEW. The Young Men, the Outrunners, are officially
AEW.
they're officially all elite. The Young Bucks have never unblocked me and continue to keep me blocked.
I assume the same with me. I haven't looked. I don't care.
They started popping up on my feed, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought they blocked me. And then so I said something else outrageous and had them block me again.
Just like the man that can't dive over a top rope still has me blocked. I didn't even. It was.
That's
It is what it is.
I think I get blocked by more AEW fans than I do the wrestlers, which is actually
Okay, mister, I'm going to act all innocent. Like, I get blocked. Poor me. Victim over here. Look at me. I get blocked by all these people. I got blocked twice by the Young Bucks.
no.
I got blocked by Sean Ross. I get blocked by so many AEW fans. But the way you're over here saying it, you're playing the victim role. Like, oh, poor me, I get blocked. You instigate every moment of it.
Yes,
you go out there with intent.
Yes, I do.
So don't act like you're not pretty much getting the block because you earned it.
Guns ablazing.
Yes.
Is what I do. And if we get press passes, that means we have to go to the arena and be nice. But I'm halfway him to show up shirt of some shirt that's going to irritate every AEW fan. I will go off and buy a Jim Cornette face shirt and wear it and walk around and watch everyone lose it.
So posted on X, we have a picture of Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Edge. And the question is, delete one return from history. And the majority of people are saying Edge, and AEW, I guess, faithful is coming out going, the only thing that can see in AEW now. But if I'm looking at biggest pops between Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Edge, I'd probably say Edge didn't have the biggest pop return as the other three. It'd be between Edge and Drew. I'd have to go back and really watch those returns to know. I mean, the return between CM Punk and Roman Reigns are beyond any means. I mean, they get to live in the infamy of being two of the greatest returns. If CM Punk is probably not one of the greatest returns of all time, he's up there in at least the top 5 in WWE returns.
All right, so let me put it this way. I would say Edge as Ed. I mean, we're not even talking Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
I'm saying just his WWE, especially towards the end. I'm sorry, it is what it is. You can like him, and that's great. You can be a fan. But when you put those other 3 wrestlers and then put Edge in there, sorry, my dude, but that's what I would drop.
It's a little iffy at that point. Yeah. I can't. It's all good.
Oh, Kevin Owens, ladies and gentlemen, AEW and the wrestling world is talking about Kevin Steen making his return to professional wrestling with AEW. And I say, no. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Kevin Owens will resign with WWE when everything's worked out. He's probably going to get a big money contract. I mean, I'm sure he can play because he knows that Tony Khan is going to throw money bags at him. But I think Kevin Steen in AEW is another lost cause.
Why do I have a feeling everyone that goes going to AEW is a lost cause at this point?
Yes. The sad part is there's been rumblings on X of people wanting to see El Generico in AEW. It's like, it's not going to happen. I mean, yes, it would be kind of funny to see Steen and Generico teaming again. But in AEW, no!
El Generico won't be as over as Sami Zayn is in WWE right now. Sami Zayn is almost a main event player looking at a world title shot really soon. But he won't be that way. And Kevin Owens, where he is right now, if he went back to Kevin Steen in AEW, he'd be a hot flash in the pan for 6 months, and then he'd be regulated to the backseat area where he wouldn't be getting over. Yeah. It's not the same. It's sad.
He might be getting that hand over. He might be getting some turkey legs over. That's about it. AKA catering.
It's just sad to think that everybody wants to jump up and down, and I wish AEW would be better, but I see what the continuing pattern of everybody who goes there. I mean, look at where Okada is and was. Look at where Mercedes Moné came in and just died. Ricochet has had nothing to really make him feel different, special, or elite. And I hate to tell you so, and I know it hurts Mr. Z badly when I talked about Will Ospreay coming to AEW and what it would become. I hate to say that I was pretty much right, that he would be really exciting and they'd wear out that glamour. They'd wear out that thing, that they'd get to a point where people are like, I don't really care about seeing Will Ospreay anymore. I've seen him every week. I mean, I get it. I didn't want to do the grind, but you're doing the grind. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that, and it's just never changes. It's just like I knew what they were going to do with Will Ospreay, and they've pretty much done what I figured they were going to do with Will Ospreay. I mean, even Mr. Z, with the banner behind him, even's kind of like over Will Ospreay at this point. Because it's not even the same Will Ospreay you got in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This man is out here on his own island, and you can just see where his weakness is sometimes. And I'm sure Mr. Clark can understand better than anybody or any of us in some aspects. But I think a lot of like that man's ADHD gets to him sometimes, especially in some of his promos, because you can see it. He starts going, and all of a sudden he kind of loses the thought pattern. Go ahead, Mr. Clark. I see you want to add your 2 cents.
The thing is, in New Japan, he had members of the United Empire to bounce off of as well, on top of his own skills. Now, he's currently in a stable, loosely, that we call the Don Callis family, but they don't bounce off each other. They're not doing anything.
No.
And on top of that, because he's being booked as a face, and everyone else is still kind of heel in that quote-unquote faction, it's like, well, I just don't understand how you can take stories that write themselves. You have Kyle Fletcher, who they do lean on, but not in a way that makes sense. It's like, okay, they kind of like, it's almost like calling them the United Empire without calling them the United Empire. You see on the chants during his music, you see United Empire still like you can still see the logo and the words. But because they're in AEW, obviously they're not going to really say United Empire. They still do what the signs or whatever the heck the gesture is.
I think that's just Will Ospreay, meaning Will Ospreay, W in the O.
No, that's also the United Empire thing too.
So that's what I've taken it as. But I mean, Kyle Fletcher's tag team partner has been injured, and who knows when he's ever coming back. But they did reference the United Empire as in Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are teaming up to take on whatever, and I'm kind of like, whoopee freaking do. Don't care. Kyle Fletcher, they're trying to make him feel special, but He's not there, and they don't give the story. And Tony Khan's so bad. Oh, if you want to know who these people is, go Google it. No, sir, that's not how you build a wrestler. A wrestler, you have to give us the history, to give us the excitement, to build the package. I mean, WWE doesn't tell us to go Google it when somebody comes up. I mean, it's just ignorance. But Will Ospreay has fallen far from grace. That just is sad.
You mean you're not excited that Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are getting an AEW World Tag Team title shot?
Not when you have a huge tag team division. You don't do anything else with the tag team that you got there, and this is a cheap way to get the young Tampon Bucks in the ring with Will Ospreay, and that's all this is about. Is that the Young Bucks, the Tampon Fucks, wanted to get in the ring with Will Ospreay, and that's the only reason this is happening. There's no purpose in this, and this takes away from your tag team division where you have all this tag team talent that you're not using to develop. You crap over all your tag teams when you do this. FTR is more and more of a joke every time we turn around. The only tag team that seems to really be any importance to Tony Khan or AEW, and I don't know who pulls the strings, are the Tampon Bucks. And if you want to go research our channel, we have a music video about the Tampon Bucks, and this happened after they came out in white and the bloodshed and everything, and became a running joke with us. Because I'll tell you something, you could go back to the beginning of AEW when we started talking about AEW, and Mr. Clark and Mr. Z were Young Buck fans. I've never been a Young Buck fan. Generation Me, the Hardy Boy knockoff, they've never done anything for me. Of course, I haven't seen a lot of their stuff in New Japan. Both these guys have. They've seen it, so they've been bigger fans of the Young Bucks. But somewhere between the beginning of AEW and now, even the Young Bucks have pushed them away from being fans, where they started calling them the Tampon Bucks. That tells you something when you turn fans that far around. And when they've come to the site where I was sitting here going, I don't get it, they're boring. And they're like, okay, yeah, they used to be something, but now you're it's the same stick. And a Tampon Bucks match with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay will be the flippy floppy moves. We will see the TK driver. We will
flippy floppy moves. It's the fact there's no story behind it, or not a good enough story behind it.
No. Well, it'll be everybody getting their high spots. Everybody will get in their finishing maneuver 3 or 4 times. It'll be near fall after near fall after near fall after near fall. It'll be the same repetitive stuff we've seen from the Young Bucks. And what is becoming very repetitive with Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is becoming very, very competitive. You know, even his finishing maneuver, the Hidden Blade, is becoming dulled down because so many people are starting to kick out of it that he has to use the other moves like Stormbreaker or the Styles Clash. But people are still kicking out of that. And it's like, we're getting 20, 30-minute matches where these guys are kicking out of every move. Every match doesn't need to be 20, 30 minutes to tell a good story, especially when it's on TV and you should have these guys wrestling people that are not, you know, you're trying to build to something. But hey, you know what? I'm not Tony Khan.
Yeah, like I say, we don't have the power of the pen.
Oh, it was amazing to see SmackDown where the Machine Gun Carl Anderson got to wrestle in a losing effort to Baron Corbin, but
yeah.
And nobody wanted to chant bum-ass Corbin with me. I don't know why. I tried bum-ass Corbin, but I couldn't get the chant going. But it was good to see the OC.
Yeah, not to be there for that one.
The only bad part about that is when we were sitting there and we were watching the when their entrance music hit, and I'm like, who is that? And it took me a minute to remember, oh, that's the OC. That's what's really sad. Corbin's music's great. I love Corbin's new music, but I'm just not behind Baron Corbin. He's running around with Paul Cruz, and I'm like, okay, it's the jabroni tag team of professional wrestling right now.
Sorry, we have no creative plans for you.
Anyways, yes, a lot to talk about. It's our 1,000 subscribers show. I guess if somebody knows how to take the names in this chat and put them into a randomizer, we can start working on a winner. Maybe we'll get to be able to go to Clash AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts in next month. I believe that's October 17th. We're going to make ourselves really busy going into that. When is Let me check. AEW is in Stockton. When is that event? What day is that? That's October 17th. It's on a Thursday. So that's going to be a recorded show. The tickets, it's coming out. The tickets are in high demand. They have high demand tickets for the show. I'm a little confused. How do you have a that is no, you can't tell me that this show is in high demand. I'm gonna have to look at this.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's in high demand. My butt. Let's see here. I want to look at the AEW here in Stockton. Let's see what the arena is looking like. And this is a good size arena. I mean, they fit Stockton Con in there. So they have the floor covered, and then they have sections. They have the far side of the camera section. They have a far side. Let's see, sections 113, 111, 109, 107, 105, 103. Still a lot of seats open on the floor even.
Wow.
Of course, at $92, $100, $74 if you buy more tickets than that. Let's see, front row, $174. These ticket numbers have dropped.
Yeah.
186 camera side on the second row on the camera side. Very interesting. Way down there. Not very expensive. These tickets were really expensive, but they still started. There are a lot of seats for this event still available.
Oh yeah.
All Elite Experience Gold VIP package, $479 for ringside seats, $470. Lots and lots of tickets still open. So you can't tell me these are in high demand when I'm looking at this and this thing's still wide open. I mean, there's probably over 100, maybe 200 seats still available on the floor for this show. Of course, it's a little over a month away. I get that. But okay, so that'd be a busy week if we did go to AEW Dynamite on the 17th. Or not Dynamite, for Collision. AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts on the 17th. The 19th would be Saturday if we went to Roseville to meet Joe Hendry. And then on the 20th, we're going to be doing the Supreme Pro Wrestling Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights event at the Indoor World Soccer Arena in Elk Grove, California, right off of Kent Street at the SPW Arena. Where they're going to have that costume battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Carr's working on a randomizer. What we're going to do right now is take a quick break. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry, we had to take a brief break there, but that is life. I know we're here for a while. We hope you're enjoying. Still got 6 people here. Joining the chat, joining the conversation. I see all the love that we're getting. I hope everybody's still enjoying all of what we're talking about. Mr. Clark's still working on that randomizer. We'll come up with the winner of the Bailey. I mean, there's not a lot of names in that list, so it shouldn't be too hard to come up with a randomizer. I could probably go any, mini, mighty, mo, catch a tiger by a toe. But yes, no. 1,000 subscriber special. We are really working on putting this out. What are we at here? All right.
I mean, we could have done it fair. I would have wrote down some names, put in a hat. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an official winner, and that is going to be the Samoan Watchman. You are the official winner of the Bailey
nice.
Elite 109 action figure. Reach out to us. Either reach out to me at Big Time Val on X or reach us at thevalueofwrestling@gmail.com. Email us there so we can get an information where to send this to. Or if you're going to come out to Supreme Pro Wrestling on October 20th, let us know whatever works best for you.
Yeah. Small Watchman. Free figure. There you go.
Watchman, the big winner tonight of the giveaway. We've had a shoey. We had the dance off.
There you go.
There you go. What do you guys think? I forgot about this. A big news going around. What do you feel about the rumor or the news or the push that's being made, which is even being made by Karrion Kross for WWE to bring back an Extreme title? And Karrion Kross would be a great person to carry that title.
We brought that up, what was it, last week or the week before, something like that? Talking about the Extreme title that Karrion Kross wants to...
Yeah, we touched on it briefly. Yeah, but it seems to be growing some legwork. He definitely seems to be pushing it more, so I think this could be really exciting.
The man's breaking bats with a choke. Okay.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome, Samoan Watchman. Like I said, valuewrestling@gmail.com or reach out to us on X so we can get you hooked up with how you want to get your hands on this Bailey action figure. Now you can get your hands on Bailey. Yeah, we love it. Bailey got a sticker from us. So if you're watching, Bailey, thank you.
Yeah.
It would have been the one I would have got signed, but they stopped signing. So unfortunately, life is life.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, you're going to talk about the Extreme title, I think, or say something there.
Anything that the WWE does at this point, while they're in this hot period, has potential. You know, I've noticed that they even though they don't have Andrade come out with a speed title, they at least talk about it a little bit on, on SmackDown. So if they bring this, new title, whether it's part of the show or part of extra content, it has the potential to be something. I have more faith in their execution at this point than I do just about anywhere else.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this date in wrestling history, but not just this date in wrestling history, let's talk about this date in history. And in what I should say, in to make you feel old moment of the night. Scrolling through X, I'm going to make you feel old. Do you know that on this very date in history, 30 years ago today, premiered one of the greatest TV shows, an infamous TV show, a legendary TV show that we all know as Friends. 30 years ago this date, the premiere episode of Friends hit the TV airwaves and changed the landscape of TV and pop culture and the world. Now, do you feel old?
My wife still watches reruns, so I mean, I get it. I get it.
Well, big time, Mr. Z. I guess the only way I can express my thoughts are, I'll be there for you. and just leave it at that.
There we go.
Yep. I just thought that was an interesting moment right there. Come across that in the Twitter.
You have to remember who I live with. Friends is talked about constantly.
Well, I'm sure friends. A Scooby Dooby Doo. Where are you? We got some work to do now. What?
Not as much.
Okay.
You think so?
Then we'll say the big one that I'm sure still gets talked about. Buffy. Not as much.
Only because
And on that note, folks,
he's mad at me because I haven't really watched the whole show. I was more of an Angel fan, as in when it got spun off into Angel.
I'm surprised she doesn't force watch you to watch it all in rerun constantly.
I mean, I have it available.
Yes, but I'm saying the people that we are talking about, I'm surprised one of them doesn't just have it on repeat and have you tied to a recliner and force watching you through it all.
Right now, the show that's watched a lot because there's 20 plus freaking seasons is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's better than being tied to a recliner or having to sit next to somebody and watching repeated movies from Lifetime, where the boyfriend or husband's always trying to kill the wife or girlfriend.
Right.
But I won't go down that road.
But just remember, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
Yeah.
She's got that, and I'm surprised she hasn't made me watch that yet.
All right.
I think I've lost a little love and shine on that. I think I became a bigger One Tree Hill fan in my older age. Of course, my favorite TV show still, and a lot of people give me a hard time. I will always go back to Sons of Anarchy, which I did make you binge watch with me. But that's you learned to love it.
But yeah.
But you enjoyed it, and the story that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for everybody to run down this Walmart as their Survivor Series action figures are on sale at Walmart. The WWE Elite Series Survivor Series sets are out.
All right.
2 hours, 40 minutes into a wonderful show. We have Monday, tomorrow night. We're going to be back with Monday Night Post Show review. So, in a little less than 24 hours, we're going to be right back here to give you more wrestling. Doesn't that excite you? And we're going to begin that march to the next big step. What's the big next step? Do we do 5,000? 5,000 our next big moniker. Of course, we need you all to watch everything. Get back on the channel. If you haven't watched stuff, start watching stuff. Hell, even if you're playing in the background, we need to watch. We got to get that watch time up. That's all we're working on now. But I mean, do we do a big celebration at 5,000 or do we wait till 10,000? What are we going to do that day when we finally get our PlayStation, not our PlayStation, our YouTube play button? There we go.
Who knows at this point?
Well, I mean, it'll be another thing that I know it'll be somewhere here, but then it'll also be something that we're going to take with us to all of the live events once we get our hands on it. We'll have to get a standee to stand on it and put it in the back.
The logical benchmark, if you will, or milestone would be 5,000, but I actually want to reach out to 10,000.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million, all in some day. Hey.
Someday.
From a movie, from talking about make you feel old. Let me tell you something. A quote from a movie from the '90s called "Angels in the Outfield." It could happen.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, it could be a 90s movie, but I'm thinking it's an 80s movie. I want to say Field of Dreams.
That's an '80s movie.
Build it.
You build it, they will come.
Build it, they will come.
That's an '80s movie. Someday on the once we get to go on tours and travel, maybe we'll go to the Field of Dreams. Lexus King's going to be wrestling on the 927 edition of WWE NXT. We're going to get to see our boy Lexus King. Always exciting. Can't wait to see him grow and develop to what he's going to become. Amazing opportunity. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, it's getting better as we move forward. Things are growing, getting stronger. We're just going to grow and get bigger. I can't wait till the day we're standing in places that we couldn't imagine. Maybe we'll finally get to go to conventions as the guest stars. Of course, here's the big question, Mr. Z, the big man. What are you going to do when somebody comes up to you and goes, "Can I get your autograph?"
Jeez, man, I tell you, damn, that's just a damn.
I mean, that's not necessarily something that I am sitting here as a goal, but I just think that someday, hopefully, we get big enough where people are in that sense. Like, hey, we want your autograph. Like, wow, that is definitely a step in the process of saying you made it somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
Rumors circulating that Dustin Rhodes' contract is soon going to be up in AEW. Do you think Dustin Rhodes will make the return to WWE? And if he makes the return to WWE, do you believe WWE will let him be Dustin, or will they want him to go back to Goldust? Now I know what our personal preference is, and it's fine. You can nod to your personal preference, but let's also think: do you think WWE would force him back to the Goldust gimmick?
Well, here's the thing out of that. I think if this were
like
still under redacted, he would force him to go back to Goldust.
Yes.
I think under a current regime, it's kind of what Dustin wants to do.
Yes.
Does he want to kind of do like what Cody has done, where he kind of gives minor little homages to the past? Or does he make appearances as Goldust just for the fun of it? It just depends on what Dustin wants to do.
I think we see
one of the biggest pops Dustin ever got while he was still with the WWE was when they had the first WWE-led Starrcade, and he came out as the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
Now that's what he is before. That's what he is now in AEW. He can play around with it. He has a whole treasure trove of things he could play with if he wanted to. He could even dive in and, for one night only, for the second time only, do something with Seven if he wanted to.
No. Let's just leave Seven buried on the shelf where it is.
No, what I'm saying is like the way he did it when he debuted it at WCW, where it was there and it was gone. I'm not saying make a whole character out of it. I'm saying what I'm saying is he has a lot of things he could play with, and WWE would be a great platform that at this point would allow him to play with everything that's in his treasure trove.
I think it could be fun if they tease the return of Goldust, but when the match with Goldust is coming out, he comes out like he does now, maybe half Goldust, half Dustin Rhodes, and be like, no, this is Dustin now. Or even not even wrestling if he just aligns himself with Cody. It'd be a lot of fun.
I think the big draw really is not so much if Dustin would have another match in WWE, but the Hall of Fame and some appearances.
Bianca Belair claiming that Montez Ford feels guilty about wanting a singles career and his singles career ambition, which I can get why you might feel guilty. And I don't know, why would you feel guilty? If you were strong enough and you believe your partner's strong enough for singles career, why wouldn't you want your singles career? And Montez Ford is definitely a single star of the future. The Street Profits run within WWE, at least at this point, I think is slowly coming to an end. I don't think there's much more for the Street Profits to do. They've kind of dropped the ball. I'm not a big fan of them trying to push Street Profits into this Bloodline storyline. I was very disappointed when they teased me with DIY because I'm a big DIY fan and really excited to see them do more. But the Street Profits, I'm kind of like, I think the Pride situation with Bobby Lashley, then that all kind of fell through, and now they're just kind of lackluster in existence. I know they're trying to kind of push them, but I'm kind of like, I'm really ready to see Montez Ford on his own. I hope Angelo Dawkins cannot be the next Marty Jannetty, Tucker, whatever name you want to list in that group, but I don't know. It'll be dependent on what Angelo Dawkins and what WWE does for him. Hopefully he doesn't wind up like Vinci.
Man, for 2 weeks, am I disappointed with Vinci and the booking of him. I'm just like, What's the point? And they did this in NXT too. What is the point of repackaging a character if you're just going to job him out?
Well, I think I said it on the SmackDown review last night with Mr. Z. I think Vinci's going to be the next Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah.
Now, Kurt Hawkins in TNA, or Brian Myers, excuse me,
Yes.
is one thing, but Kurt Hawkins in WWE.
That's why I'm saying Kurt Hawkins, because Kurt Hawkins is in TNA. Brian Myers is in TNA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I don't know what they're doing with Vinci. He got the big beatdown after the match, but it's a wait and see what their plans are going forward from here.
Right.
AEW is going to be in the Stockton area. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Will we be there? I don't know. It'll be a busy week if we do get to go to all these shows, all these events. But I mean, a lot of it we do it for you. I don't know. We know that on October 5th, SPW is going to be in Auburn, California at the Crooked Lane Brewery. We're still debating whether we want to do that show or not. That is up for discussion. But I mean, and the next thing you're going to see us at is Lodi Comic Con this Saturday, September 28th. We're already set to be there. We're going to be wandering the halls of the Lodi Great Festival grounds. We're going to be there. We're going to meet up with our boy AJ Kirsch. First, afterwards, we're going to sit down and have that lovely interview with him. We're going to meet up with our buddies from SPW, Supreme Pro Wrestling. They're going to be there, live action. We're going to talk to Scoot, maybe Sir Samurai, maybe do some other interviews with some of those guys. Our boy from Goldmine, our good buddy there, he should be there walking around. We may catch up with him. We hope to talk to MVP and Shelton Benjamin. Maybe we'll get the Choppy World Tour to continue. Maybe MVP, Shelton Benjamin, maybe they're next. Maybe on AJ Kirsch, maybe he's next. And now we just wait for a J.R. Kratos and see if we can make magic happen. Will he be the man to sign his name into the infamy and the infamousness of what it will be the Choppy World Tour? The value of wrestling. Where else are you going to see the Choppy World Tour? What other creator out here is putting themselves out in that kind of context other than maybe like Chris Van Fleet? I don't know many other creators that are, opening opportunities like this.
Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could talk about Grim's Choice shows that he's actually wrestling in matches, but he's not really a podcast. He's a wrestling show, putting on wrestling content.
Yeah.
I see a picture of Scott Hall here. It reminds me the other day I shared a video with Mr. Z that made him bust up laughing. It was one of the greatest videos. It's Will Sasso with Chris Van Fleet in his interview. A deep dive into that. Go check it out. They were talking about Razor Ramon, and Will Sasso was like, yeah, there was one time that I was at the after party, a bar. It was WrestleMania 18, well, before WrestleMania 18. They were at a bar. Van Fleet was there, and Sasso was like, yeah, I was there. I went to the bar with my buddies, and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were there, and Sasso sat down, and Scott Hall looked at him and goes, hey, yo, Sasso, you look like the type of guy that can do coke and eat at the same time. And we just started busting up laughing. It was a great thing. We were sharing that at the Bailey meet and greet with people because it was hilarious. Hey, Sasso, you look like you could do coke and eat. And you're just like, oh my God. Sasso doing the great impression of Razor Ramon. Check out Chris Van Fleet and Will Sasso's interview. That was a lot of fun. Will Sasso does a great Jesse the Body Ventura impression too.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Van Fleet. Hopefully someday we're on that level. We're going to all these events and wrestling, or not wrestling, excuse me. Maybe Mr. Z will be wrestling him. I'll be doing the interviews with him. We'll put Mr. Z in the ring. Anybody, anytime, any place. Twice on Sundays. 3 times on Mondays.
Oh, jeez.
And on that night, and on that time, folks, man.
Mr. Z's done. I can tell. He's getting tired. He's like, I don't know how much longer I can go. The exhaustedness. He's not reacting. That's the thing. I'm over here like putting him in matches. He's just like, okay, cool. Like I have nothing else to give.
Yeah.
Are you tapping out, sir?
Hey, we got 8. I just need 8 more minutes. At least it's not 3 minutes, but I'm asking for 8 more minutes. A little less than that at this point.
I ain't gonna make it, brother. Come on, man. I got other memes that are like, hey.
All right. Well, we broke records. We set standards. This is the 1,000 subscriber episode. We'll be back Monday night, tomorrow night, with your Monday Night Raw post show review. It won't be this long. It'll be about an hour, a little less, or a little more in that ballpark. We'll all be here to give you a full review on that. Tuesday on Patreon, the New Japan Rebound podcast. On Wednesdays, it'll be here on the YouTube channel. Fridays, the SmackDown post show review. Saturday, Lodi Comic Con. Me and Mr. Z are going to be there live in person. Come out to Lodi. We're going to be giving out. There's going to be live content. We'll be passing out stickers. We'll be giving you all the content. We're going to be there early. It's going to be an early day. Mr. Z's already like, damn it, I got to quit agreeing to these things because this man gets me out of bed way too early, makes me go out all way too early. So get ready for that. Is there anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Gentlemen, tell them good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks.
Thank you.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.